Sanchar Mitras. So, with your permission, ma'am, I would like to start and introduce about the Sanchar. Vishal sir, I hope this is visible.
Yes, perfectly fine. You may continue.
Move to the next slide. So, as we all are aware that Sanchar Mitra have been selected from the universities to whom the 100 5G use case labs have been awarded last year. And these labs have been spread across all states and union territories. Uh, and I'm really happy that we have volunteers from all across the nation. And also, I would like to focus on the fact that the people, the Sanchar Mitra who have joined, are actually, apart from being from the prestigious educational institutions, they have been shortlisted through a very rigorous process. So there were a lot of interviews done by the field offices. As a result, a lot of volunteers came forward, and only few were selected out of them. So I'm really happy and thankful for those who have come forward to volunteer for this noble cause. So this is a brief overview across all field offices, the number of Sanchar Mitras that we have. Ma'am, so we have from 23, almost all LSCs we have Sanchar Mitras selected. So in overall, 282 Sanchar Mitras have been selected by the field offices. So the basic objective of this program rather is to empower passionate students to promote DoT's digital initiatives and services. As you all are aware that as part of our citizen-centric awareness activities, uh, in order to have overall awareness across all communities and foster more engagement, so it is important to utilize the Yuva Shakti, the students who are can go out in the community and be part of this entire DoT family and just spread out the important issues, and not only spread out the important issues and create awareness of the various citizen-centric activities that affect lives of each and every citizen, but at the same time also gather feedback from the citizens so as to have a complete loop, and the DoT can improve from those the issue that are raised by the citizens. So basically, Sanchar Mitra is nothing but a bridge between DoT and the citizens. So these are the we have charted out the roles and responsibility of Sanchar Mitra broadly into six pillars. First one is the awareness of citizen-centric services. In the due course of time, in this workshop, you will be demonstrated about various citizen-centric services that DoT has, and so as to when you go out in the community, you can help the citizens better and create more awareness on that. Wider outreach at grassroots levels. So as we all know that it is important to, in order to reach to the last mile, it is important to focus on like village entrepreneurs, NGOs, and various other institutions. So that we reach to the grassroots level, and the awareness of whatever citizen-centric services that DoT is offering reaches to the last mile. Reporting and escalation of the issues. Obviously, as I earlier mentioned, that is, it is important that whatever citizens are facing, it is important that these issues can be brought up directly on this fora, so as to have a complete understanding of the telecom scenario in the country. Next is coordination with the field offices. Field offices who have actually shortlisted the Sanchar Mitra through a rigorous program, and the basic coordination with them for be it training, toolkits, or any sort of help has to be done by the Sanchar Mitra. Data collection and insights. So obviously, whatever data is being collected is important to present it in a particular form so as to help field office. So this does not only pertain to the citizen-centric services that DoT offers like Tarang Sanchar, Sanchar Sathi, etc. But also various other services that citizens might think that they should be there and as part of DoT's policy should also be presented. And obviously the feedback mechanism between DoT, Sanchar Mitra and the field office. So broadly, we have outlisted what are the expectations from Sanchar Mitras. Because being from selected from various institutions which are spread pan India, so we actually need to utilize our regional prowess, the native languages, so as to we have a better outreach. To give a very indicative process, we can coordinate with NGOs, village level entrepreneurs to reach the grassroots level, even the RWAs, people who are living at various अपने villages, अपने गांव जहाँ भी आप लोग रहते हैं, city, town, just go out in the community and just ask people, are you aware of certain services? Take a feedback and inform our field offices and DoT so as to have a complete understanding of the telecom ecosystem. We have already mentioned about coordination with the field offices, promotion of DoT, rather awareness of DoT initiative at various platforms and exchange of best practices. I could recently see that Gujarat LSA, the students of Gujarat LSA, the Sanchar Mitra were engaging with the guards of their own universities. So which was a very good practice and should be shared among all. So we must exchange best practices as well, providing suggestions and feedbacks to the department, thus refining the Sanchar Mitra initiative. So not only Sanchar Mitra, all the initiatives that DoT has taken, we need to have suggestions and feedback from Sanchar Mitras. Next. Lastly, because ma'am, LSAs have also joined, so we are also seeking support of LSAs to actually provide adequate training and toolkits to augment the efforts and to also help Sanchar Mitra license with the government department, state government wherever necessary. And the purpose of seeking testimonials of citizens using portals is just to have a good platform so that best practices are exchanged all across the social, not only the social media platforms, but also among the various groups that we have. So that is it from my side. Let me hand over the mic to Vishal sir.
Thank you, Vinit. Thanks a lot. I request you to kindly unshare the screen. Thanks a lot. My sincere thanks to Vinit for introducing the scope and requirement of Sanchar Mitra scheme to the audience for today's workshop. And moving forward, we are happy to have Shri Dev Kumar Chakravarti sir, Director General, NTIPRIT with us. Sir, we are thankful to you for your continuous support and encouragement for organizing this workshop. With your able guidance, we are always able to conduct such workshop at a short notice also. With heartfelt appreciation, I kindly invite you and request you to kindly deliver the welcome address to the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal. Honorable Member Telecom and Technology, sorry, and of the DCC, Madhu Arora ma'am, the DDG Media, ADG PR of the DoT Media Unit, Mr. Vishal Dheer, the Director at NTIPRIT, all the Sanchar Mitras, and the dear participants. At the outset, on behalf of the NTIPRIT, the nation's premier telecom institution for policy research, innovation, and training, I welcome all the participants in today's workshop on a very important and relevant topic, that is the Sanchar Mitra. See, we know that in a democratic setup, the governments are mostly the welfare governments. What it means is that the primary role of the government is to do welfare of its own citizens. The Ministry of Communication or the Department of Telecom is also a part of the government. And as such, the primary duty of this department is to ensure the welfare of the citizens in terms of arranging the quality telecom services at an affordable price to all of its citizens over the lengths and breadths of the country. While arranging the telecom services, it's also its duty to ensure that the services are offered which are safe to use, the citizens' privacy is protected, and the citizens' rights are not compromised with. And keeping these objectives in mind, the Department of Telecom from time to time has been taking many citizen-centric initiatives like awareness drives to make the citizen aware about the technological advancement, the grievance redressal mechanism that the service operators have put in place, the possible threats of frauds and mechanisms to avoid and avert, and also once fallen a victim of a cyber fraud, where to seek the assistance or how to seek the assistance, etc. Department has also launched many effective tools in the form of a portal or as an app or as a toll-free number or a short code wherefrom such assistance can be derived. However, many a times the benefits or support of the citizen-centric initiatives of the government are not derived by the common citizens or the consumers at large, as the common citizen are mostly not aware about all those developments. And the very purpose of such initiatives of the government falls flat without being tried at all. This in turn is the root cause of the growing distance between the government and the citizen. In a democratic setup, this is very important to bridge this particular gap between the government and the citizens. Sanchar Mitra program is one such initiative of the Department of Telecom, and the mission is to bridge that communication gap between the Department of Telecom and its citizens, fostering collaboration on the telecom issues. Under this program, as has already been told by DGPR, the youth, the Yuva Shakti of our country, is planned to be engaged to create awareness about the DoT services, contributing to more connected and informed society. It is a platform for voluntary contributions where the Department of Telecom envisages to empower the university students as the volunteers. On an average, the Sanchar Mitra scheme basically focuses on enhancing mobile security, clarifying misconceptions, raising awareness about the government initiatives in the telecommunications sector, preventing mobile-related frauds, and many more such issues. Time won't permit to go into the deep, and I understand the subsequent speakers will definitely highlight those specific applications and initiatives that has been taken, keeping in mind the citizens and the common users of the telecom services in the country. I just want to talk about one of the particular portal, and which is very common as well, namely the Sanchar Sathi portal. The Sanchar Sathi portal is an innovative initiative aimed at empowering the mobile subscriber and enhancing their security while increasing the awareness of the government initiatives. This portal, of course, it has two models. One is CEIR, another is TEFCOM. Furthermore, the Sanchar Sathi portal also includes a facility, namely Keep Yourself Aware, which serves as an invaluable resources of information for the users. The efficacy of this portal has been further enhanced recently with the addition of another module called Chakshu. Now, see, these are the information initiatives the department has created, and they're trying to make available to the common users of telecom services. Now, all those initiatives, the citizens are supposed to derive the benefits. The citizens have to use to get the ultimate dividend. If they do not use them at all, the very purpose is lost. Here comes the pivotal role of the Sanchar Mitras. If an effective role is played by a Sanchar Mitra in any state, anywhere, this can result into a very positive impact with a distinct value addition to the department's effort to enhance the mobile user security, raising awareness about the government initiative, and also promote a safe digital ecosystem. Again, generating awareness at the grassroots level in their native languages will help establishing a more relatable and effective connection with the citizens, thereby enhancing the impact of those initiatives of the Department of Telecom. As such, in disseminating information about these vital initiatives and other relevant informations about the technological advancement is going to be the cornerstone in safeguarding the interest of the common users and in our journey towards the digitally empowered India. And the role of the Sanchar Mitras will be pivotal in bridging the gap between the DoT and the citizens, fostering a collaborative approach towards the telecom and the sunset issues. Finally, before ending, I just want to give one or two suggestions as well. As was told by DGPR, and the program also talks about it, that as of now, the volunteers are mostly confined to the institution or the universities, which are among the 100 5G use case lab beneficiaries. I think the time has come now to extend it further, basically to approach each and every engineering institutions in the country and to extend the reach. Number 2 point, the technological advancement. These are happening at a rapid pace. 5G, 6G, AI, AR, VR, IoT, etc. are already in. Sanchar Mitras will require to deal with huge information and authentic informations. It is time to equip each one of them with a chat GPT for deriving a more meaningful support and authentic information. With these suggestions and welcoming once again everybody in this half-day workshop, I conclude here. My best wishes and regards. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. My sincere thanks to DG sir for addressing the audience and sharing his remarks. Your insightful remarks and valuable guidance, sir, will be incredibly beneficial for all the Sanchar Mitras. Thanks a lot, sir. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we are captivated to have respected Ms. Madhu Arora ma'am, Member Technology DCC with us. Respected ma'am, we are highly delighted and thankful to you for taking out time from your busy schedule for inaugurating today's event. Ma'am, we eagerly await your insightful words, wisdom, and inspiration. With great pleasure, I humbly request and invite Member T ma'am to address the audience and inaugurate today's program. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vishal. Dear Mr. Chakravarti, DG NTIPRIT, LSA heads, other officers from the LSAs, faculty members from different institutions, and dear students, the chief guests. Actually, you people are all the chief guests for today's event. Good morning to all of you and very warm welcome to this workshop. First of all, I want to congratulate the Sanchar Mitras. As our ADGPR was mentioning, that the selection of the Sanchar Mitras has been done through a very, elaborate process. You are the brightest among those who were there, who participated, and therefore I really wish to congratulate you for being selected for this very important role, which I'm sure is going to really help you in your educational career and otherwise in the society for the things that you do. So, as everyone understands and we know that telecommunication, digital ecosystem, digital world in which we live has become so important and it's so vital. Just as, we used to talk about basic needs of food, water, shelter. This has also now over time, for example, the mobile phones to be in the digital world, it has become kind of a basic necessity. And in this respect, I was really surprised today morning only when I was coming and I was, literally surprised, and I thought I'd share this, with all of you. I have recently moved to a new house and I've arranged a new help at home. So when I was coming, she says, "Ma'am, मेरे को Wi-Fi का password दे दीजिए." I said, भाई तुम्हारे पास तो फोन है, तुमको जो बात करना है बात करोगी. नहीं मैम, मेरे को नेट चाहिए, इसलिए मेरे को वाईफाई का पासवर्ड शेयर करिए. मेरा वो काम नहीं करता है, 4G 5G काम नहीं करता है, मेरे को तो नेट चाहिए जरूरी. So we can see it's become such an important part of our lives, whether it is for education, whether it is for e-commerce, whether it is for entertainment, for everything now a kind of basic necessity that this phone has become, the internet has become, and therefore it is very important that the security, in the digital ecosystem of all the customers, that is of vital importance. And therefore, as you would know, the kind of different initiatives ADGPR spoke in the beginning also, there are several initiatives that the government is taking for ensuring security of our telecom users, of the digital ecosystem. And therefore, while the initiatives are being taken by the government, just, these initiatives are not adequate. What it requires is widespread creating awareness of what all the government is doing. And therefore, your role becomes very, very important. You are going to be a bridge between the government and the wider society. And why I say that this is, going to really help you both in your professional life and, otherwise, the contribution that you make to the society. It's actually going to be a win-win situation, win-win both for the government because, this government has been taking several initiatives and our role, the, is as we call four pillars of what the government wants to do and has been doing. One is Samaveshit, which is inclusive, that means including everyone, those who are even in the far off, remote, distant territories of the country, to include this in this process of digital India that we are creating. So to that digital divide which exists in the country, to basically bridge that digital divide. So get everyone included in it. Then the other aspect is Surakshit. So the four pillars, as we call Samaveshit, Surakshit, Twarit, and Viksit. These are the four major pillars of government's functioning. And just briefly talking about each one, Samaveshit, I said inclusive. Then Surakshit, and the initiatives of the Sanchar Sathi that have been talked about and which you're going to, listen to, and the workshop which is being organized for half day. You will be taken through different initiatives which the government has taken, which are citizen-centric to ensure security of the mobile users. All those are going to be part of the Surakshit. And then Twarit. Twarit is that we want to really move things fast. That is what the government has been trying to do, has been taking several initiatives in that regard. Twarit, the one very important thing that comes to my mind when we discuss about Twarit is government's response when it requires it to be very alert. For example, for disaster situations, you are aware of what happened, this cyclonic storm in West Bengal, the Bay of Bengal, which was brewing up. So response of the government in such situations wherein, much before things happen on ground, we constantly interact with all the concerned agencies, IMDs, weather forecast, and we develop I would say, the system wherein with all the telecom service providers, we ensure that we are prepared for any eventuality. God forbid if anything serious happens, then our, on the telecom sites, all the authorities which are engaged in rescue operations, relief operations, they all require telecom connectivity. And we ensure that we are prepared in time and to be able to respond very quickly whenever the need arises. So that is being Twarit. And then we talk about, Viksit Bharat. You will be very happy to note, and as you get, associated with us, you are now Sanchar Mitras, you will get to know more and more about what the government is doing, what the Department of Telecommunication is doing. So over time, the kind of infrastructure that we are building, the kind of R&D and innovation support which the government is providing. You are from those institutions, those 100 institutions which are, fortunate, who have been identified for setting up of 5G use case labs. So all these initiatives or, development of completely Indian design, developed 4G stack, and going forward in the 5G use cases and 6G vision that India has created for itself. All those are the steps towards really building Atmanirbhar Bharat, also bringing up the stature of India globally as a country which is now taking technology leadership. We used to be technology adopters, but moving ahead, we want to take those positions. And number of steps that India has taken has really brought us in the forefront. The kind of exports that we now do for telecom technology is something that were not even, one could not even dream that about 3-4 years back. So these four big pillars of our, inclusiveness, ensuring security, Viksit Bharat, and also being very agile and, fast responses whenever required on the telecom side. These are big four pillars. What we want your role, and I think as a student, I was when I got to know that you all are going to be there today, and I was just reminiscing our days in college when we used to have these NSS National Service Scheme, wherein we would go and help, in our ways to support and the community. So this is now the kind of roles which are now required for the community are also changing. I talked about security of digital ecosystem, and therefore your role as a Sanchar Mitra to basically bring awareness in the society about different initiatives, citizen-centric initiatives that this department is starting, whether it relates to loss of your mobile phone, what does one do? So those different features that we are telling you about CEIR. Also, how many phones do I have using my KYC? Whether it is something that I want to report that no, I did not ask for this particular subscription. How did I get it? And I want to close that. I want to get that disconnected. So, building that awareness on the different aspects of our customer-centric initiatives, which is CER, your mobile is stolen, or whether TAFCOP, which is knowing how many phones are there or using my KYC, or also if there are spam and suspected calls which we want to report through Chakshu, and then the Government of India Department of Telecom along with Ministry of Home Affairs will work together so that all those suspicious and fraudsters, their phones are blocked. So multiple initiatives are there, and the workshop being conducted by NTIPRIT, you will be taken through all those through that portal, and how you can go back to the community, bring, develop that kind of awareness. And the other, so it's going to be, we want to utilize you for this dual purpose. One is to communicate what the government, the initiative that the government is taking for, for the citizens, but also, as a feedback mechanism for us to understand as to what are the problems that people are facing, which will help Department of Telecom to develop further strategies, and that what are the pain areas which our people are facing, and therefore we need to develop strategies for that. So it's going to be a bridge linking what we are doing in building awareness in the society, but at the same time coming back to us, providing us the feedback mechanism so that we also know what further actions the government needs to do. So I don't want to take much more time. I'm extremely happy. I welcome all the Sanchar Mitras once again. And I hope that this journey for you is going to be extremely beneficial, and you will, know also more and more about the Department of Telecom and the exciting area in telecommunications. There is a huge potential opportunity for all of you to be associated with telecom. And I think this is going to help you professionally as well. So welcome again, and thank you so much. I want to thank NTIPRIT, and I also want to thank our team which has organized this, giving me this opportunity to, one-on-one have a meeting with you to be able to speak to you. Thank you so much. Vishal, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. My sincere thanks to Member Team, ma'am, for addressing the audience today. Ma'am, we are truly grateful to you for your support and willingness to share your expertise with the audience. And thanks a lot for gracing this occasion with your presence, ma'am. Before you depart ways with us, ma'am, I request all the audience present here to kindly enable your cameras so that we can take some screenshots of the participants. Kindly turn on your cameras, please. I have given rights to everyone. And I request Vineet also to kindly tell your team to take some screenshot on your site. Thanks a lot, dear. So now we have come to the end of inauguration ceremony of today's workshop. And in order to express our gratitude to all and all the esteemed dignitaries, honored guests and dear participants, I would like to express my warm thanks firstly to Ms. Madhu Arora ma'am, who took out time from a busy schedule for inaugurating today's workshop. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for your continuous support for today's program. Secondly, I would like to thank DG NTIPRIT, Shri Dev Kumar Chakravarti sir, who has supported and guided us for conducting this program at a regular intervals. Next, I would like to thank the media division team, including Vineet Malik and his all the team members for their continuous support in making today's event possible. And they have played a vital role in organization of this workshop. All credits to them. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the audience present here for today's workshop. Without them, this event was not possible. Thanks a lot. So with permission of the chair, let us start with the first session for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request all the members to kindly disable your cameras, please.
सर आपका फोन आया था सर
Kindly disable your mics, please.
हाँ सर अभी मैम
Yeah, thank you. So let us start with the first session. The first session is on the communication skills, and the session would be taken by Dr. Vidhu Gaur ma'am from MDI Gurgaon. Let me give a brief bio about ma'am before we start the session. Dr. Vidhu Gaur ma'am is assistant professor and faculty in charge of student affairs at Management Development Institute, Gurgaon. Ma'am is an accomplished professional educationalist with more than 17 years of experience in teaching, training, industry, and research. She is also the visiting faculty for IIM Calcutta, IIM Indore, and IIM Rohtak. In this session, she brings her a wide range of experience in teaching managerial and corporate communication to the PG students, teaching English, linguistics, soft skills to UG students, and industry expertise in corporate and communication advertising. And she is a certified soft skills trainer and life member of Indian Society of Training and Development Bangalore chapter. And ma'am has also been conferred with many awards like have been mentioned on the screen also. And with this, I request ma'am to take over the session from here. I'm stopping sharing my screen from here. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you share your screen? I could not see your screen now. I hope my voice is audible to you. Just wait a minute. Let me connect with ma'am. I hope she is facing some issue. Due to internet connectivity, ma'am got disconnected. Just in 1 minute, she is joining. And I request all the audience present here to kindly keep your mics off during the communication. Thank you.
Vishal sir, Pranay is here,
Yeah.
who is the next speaker. Can we start his session first and then we can get
I just
Vibhor
got the
ma'am
call
later.
from him. We can wait for 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, we can start with Pranay session. Then second session, ma'am would take. We can wait for
Sure,
1 or
sir.
2 minutes.
Give us a go ahead.
Okay. Okay, ma'am has joined.
Anji.
Let me see.
Am I audible to all
Yes,
of you?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm privileged to get connected with such lovely audience sitting here, erudite audience sitting here. Thank you so much. There is a slight correction in my profile. It was written assistant professor. It is associate professor now. And
Okay.
the overall experience now that I carry is around 19 years of experience overall. So I thought that I should be talking on that. So a very good afternoon to all of, good morning to all of you. And again, to begin with, soft skills and communication as such is a very dicey topic, I'll say. Why? Because everybody sitting here generally think that we are all great in terms of speaking and we can communicate our talks very well. And people generally have this idea that speaking itself is great in terms of soft skills and great in terms of communication as such. Generally, people have this idea. And this is what I say is a mental block. And today we'll be discussing on such things, and maybe we'll try to redefine what exactly is the meaning of communication. Number two, how to display right soft skills at right point of time. So we'll be discussing these things in detail. We'll take some time out and we'll talk about that. Of course, in due course of my talking and interaction with you, I expect certain questions and certain kind of interaction with you in detail. So with your permission, Mr. Vishal, I will now begin.
Yes, ma'am. You may share the screen. You may start.
Yes. So is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I just want to ask my audience here that what is your understanding of communication, first of all? Because generally when we talk about good soft skills also, and generally when we talk about good interaction also, when we talk about a good dialogue connection with people also, we generally say this word called communication time and again. And I want to ask my audience here, what is your understanding of communication? Of course, the cliche statements which generally people say, exchange of ideas, exchange of thoughts, let us avoid these statements. Apart from that, according to you, what is your understanding of communication? If I may ask my audience sitting here. Anybody will like to raise their voice, in the sense raise their hands or speak on this? Okay. If not, then I will continue. I'll just say a few lines or a few, one liner which you may think that it is sometimes catchy. Just listen to the words which I'm saying. When your intentions get converted into expressions. See the line. When your intentions get converted into expressions. What is the meaning of this line? Many a times we say that we are already speaking with you, we are already talking to you, and I have communicated whatever I wanted to communicate. It is the other person who's actually not in a listening mode. But these kind of statements may not lead us anywhere, to us also and to the other party also. When I say when your intentions get converted into expressions, that really means whatever is our intention, whatever is our desire, whatever is our need, if we want to culminate that need into correct expressions, first of all, right choice of words is absolutely mandatory. Many a times it is, so that's why I say this line. Language is a conspiracy between two people. See the line, language is the conspiracy between two people. Choosing right words at right point of time is absolutely necessary. because that might dilute the entire perception of the other individual who's in one particular zone, and because of your words might not get led anywhere. So my point here is, the first point that I want to indicate, let us first of all decipher our intentions. Communication and soft skills generally originate when we talk about our intentions in detail. Many of us sitting here are in a rat race sort of a thing, in the sense we want to complete our task, we want to do our duties properly well. Sometimes we are so much in haste that we want to just shed off and we want to speak and let it go. So many a times, no, it generally gets scattered. People really are unable to take the hidden meaning or the intentions which you really want to pass it on. So sometimes it gets diluted, sometimes it gets dissolved. So my point here is, let us first decipher what is my intention. Many of us are unaware. We simply speak because we are in a hurry and we want to do so many tasks simultaneously. So we really do not ponder or contemplate what is that I want to pass on. What is that I want to communicate? Because communication and soft skills are generally, no, they are very closely linked. Provided your communication is sorted, only then your soft skills will also be sorted. That's the tuning between both these things. So when I say intentions, the first point, deciphering intention, that means we need to jot down time and again that these are the pointers which I want to communicate. Every individual to whom you are sharing your thought process, every individual is different. Just like we have our hand and fingers are not equal. Similarly,
Excuse me,
every
ma'am.
pardon?
Sorry to disturb, ma'am. The slides are not moving actually. They are
Actually, Vishalji, I'm explaining the first slide only.
okay.
I've not moved ahead.
And it's a request to kindly make it a presentation view because it's in a small version now.
Okay. I'll just do that. Yeah, now it is visible to everyone, but
Yes,
I'm explaining
perfect.
thank you, sir. I was just explaining the communication angle in detail. I've not yet gone ahead.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
yeah, so I just want to continue here with my audience once again. So let us find out how to decipher our intentions. That is point number one, for which what can be done, for which we can actually take down notes time and again. Some people do carry their diary and they keep jotting down pointers that this is what they are supposed to do. But in due course of time, even when you carry a diary and you jot down your pointers, but sometimes when we communicate those pointers to other people, they might not get converted in the same intention which we carry in our mind. So many a times it is also mandatory that if we can mention subpoint to that, that means while communicating, what exactly do I have to communicate, if we can take that into consideration. So see the line once again. When your intentions get converted into expressions, this is my first line to the entire audience sitting here or listening to this presentation. Let us be very clear cut. Let us be very sorted. Let us dissect what exactly do we want to communicate. That is the first point that we'll carry. Moving ahead, I want to draw your attention to the first important slide, which is called Mehrabian model. To my audience, when I say Mehrabian model, let us try to decipher when we communicate what exactly people take into consideration. What is that people consider? So point number one, as your statistics are mentioned here, you can see 55% of your communication is merely your body language, or we can say non-verbal communication. So that is your 55%. When we go ahead, we have 38%, which is basically how you speak, which also talks about your tone, pitch, pace, volume. What is your pace? What is your volume? What is the pitch in which you are setting the tone? And to the utter surprise of many who are listening to this presentation, it is only 7% of words, which might surprise many people. Ultimately, when we talk about soft skills and display of our gestures and postures along with words, many people might have given importance to words. But we need to take into consideration that people buy your non-verbal communication more in comparison to your verbal communication. So when I talk about non-verbal, it is the general tendency of people, or it is how the mind is set up. Mind will always take clues, or mind will always take hints from somebody's gesture, posture, way of talking, sitting, standing, making an eye contact, confidence level. These are certain things which people will give more gravity to. Even if you do not sound like one Einstein standing, that is fine for people, provided you have all other things set right. Of course, if you then can have a great knowledge display, that is an added advantage always. But yes, the point here which I want to communicate, people do take nuances, or people do take into consideration, or people do take into consideration the nitty-gritties with respect to your non-verbal, but that doesn't mean that your verbal is not important. Ultimately, it is the content which matters a lot, but that content without proper non-verbal communication makes no sense to people. That is what we want to say, that people take cues or people take hints from your non-verbal gesturing. Many a times we really appear pretty rude, blunt, or blatant. We do not have our rounded edges. We become a little edgy. Why we become edgy? Because we are so much into work. We are so much into practicality of issues. We are so much into pragmatism of many things that we really forget that ultimately we are dealing with people. Still, we are not dealing with machines. Maybe if we are dealing with machines, we tend to become edgy, but still we are dealing with human beings. And human beings, they do not still prefer edges. They still prefer people with rounded sort of personality. That means the personality should not be edgy. What is the meaning of edgy? Blunt, crude, raw. It has to have that kind of spark and warmth displayed. Many a times while speaking to opposite genders also, we might really cut a sorry figure and we might appear pretty blunt and blatant and raw. At that point of time, we really need to check on our communication as well as our display of communication, which turns out to be soft skills. So how you speak and your body language along with your content really makes a great impact. I would like to speak a line here. It is not the frills, it is the frock that is important. But combination of frills and frock will serve the best purpose to humanity. Now let me explain what is the meaning of frock, F-R-O-C-K. Frock is equal to your content. Frills is equal to mannerisms, sophistication, elegance, panache, display. That means how beautifully you display your knowledge. So of course, we say knowledge is number one, but display is also important. But the last line says combination of both is a killer. That is what is required. And as we grow higher up in the ladder, as we reach the apex of our country and different kinds of hierarchy, it is absolutely imperative that we serve as a leader in our own skin. It is not that somebody has to make us a leader. It is not that somebody has to position us on some seat, not necessarily. We have to be leader in our own skin. We should know that when we are displaying the best. That is something that we have to take into consideration, which will be very helpful in the entire display of soft skills. When I talk about the process, let me talk about the process. So this is the process. So we have a sender. For example, in this particular session, I happen to be a sender, but the sender has to encode the message. Just like your engineering, there is encoding and then there is a sender. Similarly, I need to encode my message. Encoding is equal to putting my message in a particular format, which is understandable by my audience. I repeat, putting my message in a format which is understandable by my audience. That means, according to my audience, according to the people whom I'm interacting, if I'm not wearing a veil, if I'm not wearing a certain kind of format, if I'm not having a certain kind of formatting in my personality, I won't be able to display myself well. my intentions might not get converted into expressions. So the first point is called encoding. Encoding means as per my audience, I should customize. Many a times people have this idea in their mind that I will not customize. My idea is to simply give instructions and the other party has to understand me. That is absolutely wrong. You also have a responsibility as a sender. Of course, there is a responsibility as a listener. That's a secondary thing. But the primary thing is that as a sender, are you properly encoded within to communicate properly to people? So that is called encoding. So encoding is done by sender as per the nuances and as per the mentality and as per the psychology of the listener or the receiver. I encode my message. When you speak to maybe a helper in comparison to an officer, your language will differ, your tone will differ, your mannerism will differ. Similarly, when you are comparing and contrasting between two officers who are working under you, or maybe your colleagues, or maybe your customers, or maybe the people whom you are listening day in and day out, your interaction and dealing with the two people will be pretty different because they are two different individuals. So that is why encoding is very important, which what works for one individual might not work for second individual. But people believe this. If this person can understand, why can't you understand? First of all, we need to understand that two people are not same. People have different way of understanding. People have different way of contemplating, and that should be taken into consideration by the sender. So encoding is point number one, which has to be done by sender. Sender then sends the signal or the message, which then passes through medium. So participants, those who are listening to this session and those who are seeing this PPT, there is one more angle which is missing here. So after sender, so first of all, the angle which is missing here is encoding. I have not mentioned encoding here. So number one is encoding, which has to be done by sender. Sender then sends the message, which you can see here. That message reaches medium. Medium is not mentioned here, but I'm speaking. You can add it on. What is medium? Medium is basically oral, written, non-verbal. Oral, written, non-verbal. Right now, in this particular session, it is English, oral. It is English is the medium, and then it reaches the channel. What is channel? Channel means the help that I am using to communicate my thought process to you all. What is the help that I'm using right now? It's a PowerPoint presentation that I'm using. Suppose you write a letter to your colleague or to your subordinate, then that help is equal to letter. Suppose you write an email, then email becomes the channel. Channel is equal to the aid, A-I-D, aid, or the help that you are using to communicate your thought process. The medium will be language. You might be using Hindi, English, whatever language. And if you are putting it in writing, then writing becomes the medium. And writing in what? PPT, letter, memo, report, that becomes your channel. So medium, channel, and finally it reaches the receiver. But before reaching the receiver, my audience, there is another component which is called decoding. What is the meaning of decoding? Just now we have understood the meaning of encoding. We need to also understand the meaning of decoding. That means whatever is the formatted message, which is done by the speaker or the sender, is it getting deciphered? Is it getting deciphered in the same intention and in the same way the speaker intends to? Then that is called decoding. Many people simply say decoding is equal to interpretation. No, not necessarily. Interpretation in the same way, what is intended by speaker is primarily the right decoding. Because if that happens, only then your communication becomes a perfect communication. Why people say that communication is a flop or communication is a fiasco? Why people say that a particular individual is not able to communicate? Because his encoding is not getting in sync with his decoding. He encodes something, but people decode something else. That is where the failure comes, and that is where your soft skills also will fail. because people will not buy your idea because you are somebody else and you are trying to display somebody else. And that is why image management is also very important. Many a times we believe that if we speak X to one party and Y to another party and it will not flow, it doesn't happen. People generally come to know what is happening on one side and how things are communicating. People are connected. Nowadays, we are living in a world which is generally called a global village. We are living in global village. It's a village. Everybody is beautifully connected with the internet and different policies and procedures, and everything is now connected. So it is absolutely important that whatever you say, that should also be seen into actions. And it is also mandatory that whatever you speak to one individual should not get differed with another individual. For example, your value system. Of course, your talking will differ basis on your audience, but your systems, your principles, your basic idea should not change. Otherwise, people might not trust the credibility. I mean, they will put a question mark on the credibility factor. And believe me, in a communication process and in displaying soft skills properly well, trust also plays a great role. Many a times you might have heard people saying that maybe he's displaying best of the gestures, but I really don't trust him. Why? Because trust plays a great role in communication. Trust plays a great role in soft skills. Your image management is very important. If there is one particular image which people think in their eyes, it is generally difficult to change that image, but it can still be changed, but it will take time. That's why we say first impression is the last impression. Actually, it is true. Whatever is casted first is first. Though we mean to say, can it not be changed? It can be changed, but it will take time. That is the only issue. So when I say sender, message, medium, channel, decoding, and then receiver. When I want to say receiver, will this cycle get complete? So I want to ask my audience, encoding, sender, message, medium, channel, decoding, receiver. Is communication cycle complete? Will you be able to communicate the best? I want to ask my audience. Anybody can say yes or no. Simply yes or no I need. That's all. It's good to interact. By the way, am I audible?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Somebody said no, which
No, ma'am.
is okay. No. So what is remaining, participants? If you can tell me, bacha hua kya hai? What is remaining?
Feedback.
Absolutely right.
From the receiver.
Absolutely right. It is the feedback from the receiver. And when I talk about feedback, completing the loop, this is what we say, completing the loop. How loop gets completed? Feedback. Now, feedback can be oral, written, and non-verbal. I repeat, oral, written, and non-verbal. Let me tell you, non-verbal feedback is constant. Of course, I'm not talking about the online medium because it is difficult to view your non-verbal communication. Even your Mehrabian model, which I explained here, in your online system, this model will also change. Maximum priority will go to what you speak and how you speak. And less priority will go on body language because body language is hardly visible and it can actually be the video, if at all it is not properly done up, or if there is technical error or there is some system error, then your video has to be sometimes switched off because of your net connection and your load. So at that point of time, generally body language will take a backseat with respect to online. So right now what we are discussing is all offline. Offline means in physical way, in physical parlance. So I want to just talk about it here once again. So feedback. Feedback can be verbal, non-verbal, and written. You can write, you can simply nod. Your eyes might be staring an individual trying to say that, okay, we are not getting it. Or somebody might raise his hand and can say, can you please repeat? That's also feedback, which is oral, right there. Till the time, so I want to put it in the audience. Now, many a times people say that speaker is exclusively a speaker and receiver is exclusively a receiver. No, I want to put it very clearly. It's a role reversal. The moment you start giving feedback, receiver becomes the sender and sender becomes the receiver. So a receiver is not a permanent receiver and a sender is not a permanent sender. There is always a role reversal. So a sender should also know how a listener feels, and a listener must also know how a speaker feels and what are the nitty-gritties that one should carry, because both of you will be turning shoes. It is not that one person is permanently there. There is always a role reversal. And now my question to my participants, is communication possible between less than two people? Is communication possible between less than two people?
No, ma'am.
You can. So I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
an answer called no. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
It is possible. Somebody said yes. Or any other answer? So I got both yes
No.
and no. Pardon? Please repeat.
No, ma'am.
No. So my answer to this question is yes, it is possible. How? You are communicating to yourself. Yourself is the receiver and you are the speaker, which is generally called intrapersonal communication, communicating within. Interpersonal is basically outside. You are communicating to one party, two party, three party. That means 1%, 2%, 3%, or maybe it can be 10% or maybe more. So is communication possible between less than two people? Answer is yes. And that is called deciphering your own intentions, with which I started the class, with which I started this session. First of all, you need to decipher कि मेरे खुद के दिमाग में क्या है. What am I carrying in my own mind? What is that I have in my own mind? Many a times people are unclear about that. Until and unless you are clear about that, only then you will be able to communicate. That's the issue. That's the point that we need to take into consideration. So we will keep this particular model in our mind, and we will remember that there is a role reversal. Now, let me show you this small video. Mr. Vishal, is video audible to the entire set of audience?
Not now, because while sharing, you have to select the this audio option.
Oh, so my God, I now cannot do that, right?
You may share this if you share this PPT again and enable the audio, then audio will come.
अच्छा,
Otherwise,
अभी इसको unshare करूँ ना?
unshare करके share करिए, तो sharing के time पे there's a icon called include sound. If you click on it.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Just a second.
And kindly finish in 10 more minutes.
Okay, sure.
While sharing, there's an icon called include sound. Yes, then it comes.
Okay, is this, first of all, it is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Interpreted.
Yeah, sound is coming now.
Research shows that good communication skills are a big factor in job success, but many people struggle with them. Your thoughts and ideas can be misinterpreted if you can't express yourself clearly, whether verbally or in writing. And not knowing your audience well enough can cause confusion too. You'll have wasted your effort and missed an opportunity to get your message across. That's why it's so important to understand how good communication works and the barriers that can get in its way. The communication process has 5 key elements: the source, encoding, the channel, decoding, and the receiver. Your goal is to make each element work as well as you can. First, consider the source. This is you. You need to be clear about why you're communicating and what message you want to convey. You must also be confident that your information is accurate and useful to your audience. The next stage is encoding, which means putting your message into the right style and format for your audience to understand it easily. Look over your message carefully. Get rid of any jargon or local expressions that might confuse people. Check for missing information. Next, examine the channel you're going to use, such as a face-to-face meeting, phone call, email, or report. Every communication channel has different strengths and weaknesses, so make sure you use the one that fits your message best. For instance, constructive criticism is probably best given face-to-face so the person can hear your tone and see your body language. You'll also likely gauge the recipient's reaction and adjust your delivery accordingly. Next, decoding is the process of reading or listening to a message and getting meaning from it. Your audience will likely decode your message more accurately if, as you encoded it, you considered what they might already know about the subject. Finally, you need to consider the receiver of your message and the context they'll receive it in. How will they likely respond? People bring their own situations, ideas, and feelings to your message, and these will influence their understanding of it. Pay close attention to the feedback you get from your audience so you can check for and clarify any misunderstandings. Understand these 5 parts of the communication process and you'll be able to fine-tune your approach so that your message is clear and effective. You can find out more about
When we talk about non-verbal communication, now you've got the points very clearly. When we talk about the non-verbal part of it, because that is primarily your 55% of your communication, we need to not go in the jargons of non-verbal communication, but a simple fact that we will remember. We need to take care of our facial expressions. Sometimes we generally have a very raw facial expression and people might take it differently. If at all our facial expressions can be neutral, most of the time that will be good. Why? So that people do not get opportunity to judge us. Why? Because people, there is a general tendency of people all across the world to judge. Judgment automatically comes. It is in the nature of human beings. So if we really want to get rid of that, we need to carry neutral expressions. And now you will say that ma'am, जिसको judge करना वो वैसे भी करेगा, लेकिन आप अपनी करेंगे. You will try to keep your face neutral. That is generally said that, of course, if you can keep a smiling face, that is great. But of course, every time you cannot smile, but generally face should be warmth, full of warmth and affection kind of a face. Whether you play a strategy or you don't play a strategy, whether you are a cunning person or you are a simple person, irrespective of that, your face should generally carry a smile. It should be a face full of warmth, generally, irrespective of your character. You can very well see the body language, the gestures, the postures. Many a times we are sitting in a very arrogant manner, or maybe not in that manner, which is generally humble. If we talk about Ratan Tata, time and again, I generally quote his example. He will always have a posture and he will always have a delivery which is very, very gentle and humble as per the audience who's in front of him. Of course, other than philanthropy that he is into, but he is a person who will generally have that kind of humble posture whenever he's in front of people. As per people, he will behave. So what I want to say that if we can keep a posture, not necessarily a little arrogant. When I say arrogant one, it might be putting one leg on another leg, which is called figure of 4. There is another posture in which we try to spread ourselves on the chair. Not necessarily. We might be sitting erect, not erect in the sense absolutely erect that uske baad goli se uda diya jayega, not that. But if our back is at rest with the back of the chair and we are in a very comfortable position expressing ourselves, that is considered good. That is considered well done. We should not be relaxing on our chair. We should not be swinging on our chair if we are sitting on a chair. And we should generally avoid sitting in the figure of 4. That means putting one leg on the other leg. These are generally posture things which you need to understand when we are sitting. Eye contact in Indian context is generally that we go for a direct eye contact. But suppose somebody is scolding you or there is a rebuke which is happening, then of course we will not go for a direct eye contact. That is how we function here. But ultimately, when somebody is explaining you certain things, it has to be a direct eye contact. That is eye in eye. That really gives a sense of credibility and confidence to the other party that whatever he or she is trying to say, you are gathering that. When I talk about vocalics, I've already explained pitch, pace, volume. What is your pitch? What is your pace? That means how fast or how slow you are speaking. If you can be somewhere there in the middle, that means not too fast and not too slow also. Somewhere in the middle, as if it is conversational, ऐसा लगना चाहिए बातचीत हो रही है. Then that is fine. So pitch, pace, volume. Then we talk about chronemics. When I talk about chronemics is generally time management. which talks about that how serious you are for a particular set of audience, because time management is absolutely compulsory. Punctuality is necessary because that depicts and that showcases our face in front of the entire world globally also. When we talk about haptics, it is generally usage of touch. It is generally when we want to display a proper soft skills, it is generally advised that stop touching people, whether of the same gender or opposite gender. If we can talk with someone without touching, that will always be preferred. But we have seen time and again, we generally have this tendency of touching and saying, Are sunna sunna, let me make you listen, or we have this casual habit. If we can really refrain from that, it is better. Many a times this language of touch might not be liked by the other party. So if we can refrain from that, that is better. Now you say that I really long for touch, for which you should do a lot of physical activity that really absorbs a lot of whatever you carry, maybe some kind of load, maybe some kind of frustration, maybe some kind of venting out you need, for which physical exercise should be done. But refrain from touching people in your organization, in your workplace. When I talk about artifacts, I think it is all well groomed and people know it all about. We generally have a proper dress code with respect to females. It is generally a sari. With respect to males, it is generally a trouser and a shirt. And sometimes it is with respect to our parliament, many people wear kurta pajama also. So that really depends on the context in which we are. So we need to be according to that context. But generally, India has a certain set of dress code which is fixed with every kind of setting. So if that can be followed, that is always better, and that gives a better show off to people that yes, the person is serious about a particular matter. And last is proxemics. When I talk about proxemics, it is called language of space. How do we use space? Generally, it is more than 2 feet that you should maintain a distance between two people. Many people have this tendency to come very close and start speaking to people at workplace. That is not considered good. Even if you have something very secretive to be spoken about, generally you should go in a cabin and then talk. Again, 2 feet distance should be maintained. Sometimes people maintain more than that. It even goes to 4 feet, which is fine. So keep this proxemics in mind, because space generally talks about position and power in India. The more the space of office workplace, that means the person is powerful. If the person is having a lavish cabin and a bigger cabin, that describes the power part of it. So it describes space, describes power and pelf. At the same point of time, space also talks in Indian context that person at workplace must not go in the intimate zone, which is less than 18 inches. That zone a person must not enter. Generally, it is 2 to 4 feet that person should be in that zone. Yeah, so Mr. Vishal, if you allow me, I can go further, or I will just wrap it up. Tell me.
I mean, 2-3 minutes, if you can finish it up, it would be good.
Okay. So I will just like to share this slide with you to wrap it up. So when I talk about the entire leadership, when we talk about motivation, when we talk about display of right gestures and communication, and even the soft skills part, we need to have a better understanding within ourselves, for which the model has been already discussed: sender, encoding, medium, channel, decoding, receiver, and then it is completed by a feedback loop. It is also imperative that we maintain certain trust part. That means our image should be maintained well. Once the image is spoiled, it is generally spoiled for a longer period of time. So one should really take into consideration that image should be maintained well. Congenial relations, that can only happen provided you give and receive feedback in a proper way. What is receiving and giving feedback? Many a times people become very raw. How? They speak blatant that you are not doing well, you are a poor performer, you don't know all these things. Even if you have to talk about somebody's poor performance, that is fine, but the first layer must have a certain kind of polishing. Okay, good to speak to you. You have come to my cabin after a long time. How is everything? Maybe you have a small rapport building. And if there is no time on that, that is absolutely fine. Maybe you can start with greetings of the day. Then you give the bad news, and then you close it with the positive news. What is positive news? I hope that you will again buck it up or pull up your socks and get better to it. But always remember, the tone should be neutral until and unless something serious has happened and you really need to raise your voice. Good working environment can only happen provided our encoding and decoding remains in sync. Only then we'll be able to display ourselves well and in a harmonized manner. Motivated employees can only be there provided they get some kind of recognition by their bosses, not necessarily in front of open forum every time. But if a boss can generally mention that you are really doing well, I want to say one line here. Good feedback is anyways good. Bad feedback anyways is good. Why? Because you know that you are doing not that great. So bad is bad. But getting no feedback is fatal. It is deadly. You must get a feedback so that you know that, okay, this is the direction that I need to progress. So that is imperative. Motivated employees. Employees can only be motivated provided they know that in which direction they are going. So off and on, fortnightly, weekly communication is important. Team coordination, which leads to excellent productivity. These are all the levels that we must keep in mind, provided we have encoding, decoding, and the entire model in sync. With these words, I will like to say thank you to all present here. And this is always a privilege to get connected with some erudite people, intellectual people. And thank you so much. This is Dr. Vidhu Gaur from MDI Gurgaon.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for this insightful session on communication skills. And I think this will surely aid these volunteers and Sanchar Mitras in the skill building on the communication skills. And thanks for taking out time today and delivering this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
Thanks.
Mr. Vishal, can I leave also?
Yes, ma'am, please. Thanks.
Thank you.
So now, moving forward, we have sessions on overview and demonstration of key government citizen-centric services and portals. And from here on, I hand over the proceedings to Shri Vineet Malik, ADG in Media Division. Over to you, Vineet. You may proceed from here.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure to connect with you and taking the entire inauguration session and the session on communication skills, coordinating with the each and every speaker. Thank you, Vishal sir. From now on, we'll start with the overview and demonstration of key government citizen-centric services, as Member T in her inaugural remarks mentioned about various initiatives that DoT has taken and has to be taken to the citizens, and also get feedbacks from them to help us create a better policy or strategy. So in this context, the first speaker that we have is Pranay Divakar. He's ADG DIU, and he'll be telling us on Sanchar Sathi portal and various features that Sanchar Sathi has. So I'll hand over the mic to Pranay Divakar.
Thank you so much, sir. So we can upload the presentation. Good morning, everyone. So basically for the next 25-30 minutes, we'll be discussing about the Sanchar Sathi and the facilities it's providing to the citizens. So basically, Sanchar Mitra are kind of representatives to create the awareness among the citizens and to give them education about the citizen-centric facilities that Department of Telecom is basically hosting. So I'll be just talking in the layman terms only, that how our portal is designed for the citizens and how a citizen can come, how they can utilize, and how they can give the feedbacks that can be used by Department of Telecom for the prevention of misuse of telecom resources. So next slide. So as we all know that in the recent last few years, we have got a very good achievements in the digital public infrastructure. So on the left hand side, we can see that we are having a high number of Aadhaar cards, then we are having the mobile technologies like 4G, 5G, then we are having the Jan Dhan accounts, then we are having the DBT running over Aadhaar and the Jan Dhan accounts. Then we are having the UPI ecosystem in which the real-time payment ecosystem has been built and a high number of transactions are being done. So these are basically the achievement that India could achieve in the digital public infrastructure. Then on the left hand side, we are having the achievements, and along with these achievements and with the progress in the digital public infrastructure, we are also facing some threats. These threats are basically in the form of cyber crimes. So if we see some numbers that the number of cybercrimes are increasing from year on year, the percentage of the cases in which the financial frauds have been done, so or the cybercrimes have increasing. So basically, the cybercrimes are being done more towards getting the money from the citizens. Then, if we understand the pattern of National Cybercrime Portal, which is there to report the cybercrime or the financial fraud happened with the citizens, it's also increasing in the last 4 years. We have got more than 30 lakh complaints. And we have also seen as Department of Telecom that more than 5 lakh SIMs have been involved in such cybercrimes and the financial frauds. And the basic problem with that is that most of the cases are in the investigation stage only, because these are basically cybercrime is basically a virtual kind of crime in which multi-jurisdiction has been exploited by the cyber criminals, and they are basically utilizing that. So it's a very complex and a tough situation for the investigating agencies to get the hold of the fraudsters. So if you understand that the news, there are different news articles we are seeing across print media, social media, that how our citizens are basically getting duped by this fraudster and how they are losing their money. And at the center stage, we can see that the internet, the SIM is basically being used. So the most easy way to reach out to a citizen to get him duped is basically through a mobile call, through a mobile SMS, or through a WhatsApp. That is basically a very a popular social media platform. So just to tackle all these scenarios, and since telecom is basically has been exploited by the fraudster to commit such kind of cybercrime and the financial frauds, so department have taken a few initiatives, and the most important initiative in this regard is to launch a unified, integrated, citizen-centric portal that is basically Sanchar Sathi. So on the screen we can see that www.sancharsathi.gov.in is the portal that has been developed and launched by Department of Telecommunication in year 2023, particularly in the May, and it has been launched by Honorable Minister of Communication. And there are different kind of facilities that are available on this portal, and that and subsequently in our presentation we'll be seeing this. We'll be seeing the facilities that are available on this portal, the kind of flow that is available for a citizen, and how we can utilize and help the government to prevent the misuse of telecom resources. Next slide. So basically, if we understand the vision of the Sanchar Sathi portal, it's basically a citizen-centric initiative just to empower the mobile subscriber, or particularly the citizens, to enhance the security component in their life and to promote the awareness of various government initiatives in this regard. So basically, our Sanchar Sathi portal is having a real-time dashboard regarding the request that has been done by the citizens and how fast or how quickly we are resolving them. It is available. Then we are having the state-wise breakup of the request received and the resolution being done in the real time. Then we are having the portal available in all of the major regional languages. And if there's an achievement with this portal that in the last 1 year of life, it has got more than 4.92 crore visitors, which itself is showing that citizens are liking the facility and they are coming up, they are giving the feedback to us. It's very easy to use. We have put it in kind of OTP based services are available. So you have to come, you have to give your mobile number, then you have to put some simple captchas, and you have to give the OTPs being delivered to your mobile numbers, and you have to simply log in and utilize the services that are available. So if we understand regarding the portal of Sanchar Sathi, it is basically hosting few of the citizen-centric facilities. They are being listed at the screen right now. So going ahead in the presentation, we'll be seeing one by one the facilities that are available. So there's a section that we have built on the Sanchar Sathi portal that is basically regarding keep yourself aware. So we are basically pushing some of the content that is that may be particularly of Department of Telecom or to the other organizations that are linked to the telecom domain, like TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, or the Ministry of Electronics and IT, or the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. So basically what they are doing to curb the menace of cybercrime, how they are educating the citizens. So we are basically putting all these links here so that citizens can come here, they can understand the awareness content, and they can utilize that, and they can also give this information to the fellow citizens. Then we are also hosting the frequently asked questions on the portal. So the frequently asked question FAQs have been divided into different categories. First one is regarding the basic Sanchar Sathi portal. After that, there are FAQs regarding different facilities like Chakshu, CIR, TAFCO, Brickpin, KYI. So our Sanchar Mitras are requested. They can go. They can just go ahead with this FAQs. They can go through this FAQs. They can understand the portal. They can give this information further to the citizens to whom they are interacting. So on the portal, we are having the social media corner also. So in which we are having different social media platforms, accounts of Department of Telecom, and the latest information that are being floated through the social media platforms are available on our Sanchar Sathi portal. So you can also consume that and to get yourself aware about the latest news that we are providing through social media. So and along with that, we are also providing the useful links. So useful links are for the websites or for the portals of Department of Telecom or for the other organizations which are working in a similar domain like Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center or the Umang platform that is basically working for the different kind of citizen-centric services they are providing to the citizens, being hosted by different governments, central government or the state governments. Such kind of facilities are available. So Uttaran Sanchar is available, where we'll be having a different session for that. IOC is there, then Telecom Meeting Center, Universal Service Obligation Fund. So such kind of links are also provided on the portal. So now, after getting the basic overview of the Sanchar Sathi portal, now we'll be moving ahead with the facilities that are available for the citizens on the portal. So the first kind of facility that is available is Know Your Mobile Connections. So as a citizen, I can take a mobile connection from different operators that are providing the services who are basically the authorized licensee of Department of Telecommunication. So few examples are like Airtel, Vodafone, Reliance, Jio, BSNL, MTN. So you can just take the mobile connections from them. So there may be chances that a person might have misused your KYC documents and he have taken a mobile connection in your name, or it is that you are having like say 4 or 5 connection, you don't want to now continue with one of the connection and you want to flag that. So basically this TAFCO facility is regarding to check the mobile connection that are available in your name and to report any such discrepancies if you are facing. So it's very easy. You have to just click on the first citizen-centric services of Know Your Mobile Connection. Then you will land on the this screen. Here you'll be getting the real-time dashboard of the request that we have received and the resolution. That you can see that a high number of resolution is being done through our field units and collaborative efforts to the telecom operators. So here you have to just give your 10-digit mobile number. Then you have to fill the CAPTCHA. After that, you have to validate the CAPTCHA and OTP will be delivered to your mobile number that you have filled. And after that, for the successful verification of the OTP, you will be successfully logged into the portal. So these are basically the information how you can provide. And after that, you will be landing to the homepage of the TAFCO facility. So this is basically a view that you will get, a citizen will get. So he'll be getting the mobile number that are basically the available with the user that the logged in mobile number have used. So let's say I have logged in with my mobile number that is basically available at the top right corner. You can see that. And with this mobile number, I am having the two more other numbers are available with this. So with this, we are providing the facility that you can choose any of the function like note my number, note required or required. If you will choose the required, then there will be no flagging or no action will be taken. But if you will choose then note my number or note required, then such numbers will be taken in the re-verification. So what is basically the re-verification? So when we take a mobile connection from any of the telecom operator, we have to do a KYC that has been prescribed by Department of Telecom. So when we are flagging any of the connection for the re-verification, a re-KYC is being done. So the subscriber will be intimated through SMS or through mobile app or through call by their respective telecom service provider, and they'll be asking you to give your documents along with the live image, and they'll be verifying whether the KYC documents given during the original KYC and the re-verification are same or not. And if the re-verification is being failed, then the connection will be disconnected. And if the re-verification will be passed, the connection will be active and it will be working normal. So when you will be submitting the request, so basically there might be cases that a citizen has come and he has tried to use the service, and by default he have submitted a request. But after that, he have got to know that, oh, this is my number only. It has been used by in my pocket, or I have used this SIM and it is available with me. So he can have the provision that he can change his options by the 12 p.m. night. So whatever final options by being provided by the citizens will be reporting that, and after that we'll be flagging that for the re-verification. It's a very important thing for the citizens that should be known to them. Okay, so they are basically the FAQs that we were talking about. So these are very basic layman kind of language that we have tried to use so that citizen can go ahead and they can understand what is basically there. So like first is the how many mobile connection can be an individual take, how to report a mobile connection which are not required or not acquired by the subscriber, what happens to this reported numbers, then what is the re-verification process, what is basically the timeline to get the problem or get the request resolved. Such kind of FAQs have been given. So you can go, you can check the FAQs and try to understand what basically with what motives or the objectives this portal have been designed. So you can understand that we at the real time we are putting the request and the resolution at the dashboard, and if you click on any of the plus sign, then you will be getting the details at the circle level, at the LSA level, license service area level. So you can just check that at Andhra Pradesh, as Assam, Bihar, how many requests have been received, how many are in the resolved state, and how many are in the still in the progress state, and they will be resolved. So the next facility and very important facility is regarding block your lost or stolen mobile device. That is basically in the form of CEIR. So we have observed that there are many cases in which a citizen is basically losing his mobile device, mobile handset, or it has been stolen by some thieves. So in that case, they can come to the facility at Sanchar Sathi portal. They can just block this lost or stolen mobile device. If after whole of the process, if they have recovered that phone with the help of the state police and with the recovery with the tracing report and the recovery being done by state police, then they can also unblock this through this portal also, and they can check the request status that they have provided. So this is also basically hosting the real-time dashboard in which we are providing that how many requests have been received, how many mobile numbers we have already blocked at pan-India level, and how many have been traced by Department of Telecom, and the information had been given to the state police. So, so basically, again, as the portal is very easy to use, so basically we are capturing very small or very simple kind of information from the citizen. So about the device, he has to just give the mobile number that was being used in the mobile handset that has been stolen. The second slot number, mobile number 2, can also be given. It's a kind of optional field. The IMEI one, the IMEI number of the mobile handset, if it is having the 2 slots, then IMEI 1 and IMEI 2 can be given. After that, you have to choose the device brand, the mobile handset brand, and the model, and you have to upload the invoice if you are having that invoice with you. After that, when you lose your mobile handset, then you just give a FIR or a complaint of lost or stolen to the police station through online or through offline channel. You have to give this information at this portal. So lost place, the state, UT's police station, lowest date, district, you have to provide. After that, you have to. So after that, you have to give your personal information, like what is the owner's name of that mobile, the address, the identity proof, and you have to upload that. You have to get a OTP on the same mobile number which have been utilized on the mobile handset that has been lost. So there are many questions by citizens that why you are utilizing that mobile number only for getting the OTP. So basically, it has been used in order to give a shield to the genuine subscribers, so that anybody, a miscreant cannot come to our portal and he can give a false complaint and a genuine mobile handset can be blocked. So basically, when you lose your mobile handset, then you have to get the mobile SIM that was available in that from your telecom service provider. After that, you can just give this, because the OTP on the same mobile number will be delivered. After that, you have to give the declaration and the report will be submitted. So once the report is submitted, the mobile handset that has been reported will be blocked on the pan-India level across all of the operators, so that anybody who will found this device, or anybody who have got the access to this mobile handset will not be able to utilize that for utilization purpose. And if any such kind of access has been received or such kind of trace has been received by mobile network, then that will be available with the CIR, with the Department of Telecom, and that will be provided to the state police, in which the lost or stolen information has been reported. They will be available through online, and also the citizen will get a SMS intimation that whatever request we have generated on the CIR portal, this has been this mobile device has been traced. So you have to contact your state police, the police station in which you have given the lost stolen information. So you can go there and you can pursue with them so that they can recover your mobile device and give it back to you. So you can also find the dashboard in which so in the dashboard you can see that few of the states are doing good and the recovery rate is very high. So up to now we have got the more than 16 lakh requests. We have blocked all of the such requests at pan India level. And after that, we could trace more than 9 lakh such mobile headsets. And with the help of state police, we could recover more than 1.41 lakh handsets, and they have been recovered and been handed over back to the citizens. So now the another facility that is available on the Sanchar Sathi portal is regarding the Know Your Mobile. So basically, we are purchasing new mobiles, so we are purchasing the mobile handset from the second-hand markets, from any of the portal or the forums, or from offline market. So in that case, you can also check whether the IMEI is genuine, whether it has been blocked or not. So you have to just simply go to the Know Your Mobile facility that is available on the Sanchar Sathi portal. You have to put a captcha, you have to put your mobile number, OTP will be delivered. After that, you have to put the OTP. After OTP verification, you have to put the IMEI number regarding which IMEI you want to check the status. So once you will submit the request, once you will submit the request, you will get the details like whether the IMEI is valid or invalid, whether it has been blocked or not, the brand name of the mobile handset, the model number, the manufacturer, and the device type will be provided to you. So, so basically, this facility is available through the Sanchar Sathi portal, through the USSD code also. Go back to the slide. So you can see that it can be delivered through the SMS also. So you can just give a SMS KYM space and a 15-digit IMEI number, and you can just send this request to 14422, and you will receive the request. After that, it is also available in the form of mobile app that is available on the Google Play Store and the iOS Store. Next. So the next facility that is available basically, so as I have told that Department of Telecom is basically providing the license to the licensees who are operating the different kind of telecom services across India. So so basically, let's say I'm at a place and I want to check whether how many are the wireline internet service providers are available nearby to me. So this data can be fetched from the Know Your Wireline Internet Service Provider facility of the Sanchar Sathi portal. So you have to simply go to this facility. You can check the details with the PIN code, with the address, or with the ISP name. So here we can see on the screen that here we are having the PIN code facility. So I have to just put the PIN code and then put the search button, so that I have checked with one of the PIN code, and the licensees who are providing the services at this PIN code are available with me. I'm having their name, their email IDs, their contact number, their website links, and their category also. So basically, licenses are being provided in the category of ABC. So they are having pan India coverage, or they are having a state coverage, or they are having a district kind of coverage, are available with this. So any of the citizen who want to avail the services of internet, wireline internet, he can just contact to this authorized wireline internet service providers. So there's a basically a rider that has to be provided when you are utilizing this as an awareness campaign or educating to other citizens, that with this we are not providing free Wi-Fi or free internet kind of facility, because we have got to know few of the influencer or the YouTube channel are providing the information that through Sanchar Sathi portal, government is providing the free Wi-Fi, and we have also provided a PIB fact check for that, and clarified that we are not providing free Wi-Fi, but yes, we are facilitating our citizens to connect to the internet service providers so they can avail the facility. So as we have seen that when I am getting the information about a licensee that he is providing in my area, along with that I can also get the information apart from my area, my PIN code, in which areas of the India he is also providing the services. So that can be also accessed through the portal, through the row only. After that, you can search this detail by address, by putting the address. So in the address, you can put the state, the district, or the town, or the villages that in which you want to check. So I have put in Andaman Nicobar district, and after that, I have got this information that BSNL is basically providing the service there, and their contact details are also available. And along with that, I can also get this information through the internet service provider name. So I can just have to put the ISP name, and the information regarding that will be available. So these are basically the facilities, the 4 facilities that we have talked about. So in this information, whatever information was available with the Department of Telecom have tried to utilize that information, or through different kind of analysis, big data analysis, through the use of AI technology. We have tried to give this information in a readable or easy to consume way to our citizens. But now the 2 facilities that we'll be talking about, they are basically the collaboration of the citizens. So with the last 4 facilities, citizens are basically getting the one-to-one kind of information with us, and they are getting one-to-one support. But the next 2 facilities are regarding the collaboration, that how citizens can help the government of India to report any kind of misuse of telecom resources. They are basically detecting around their themselves, and they can report. So as a vigilant citizen, when citizens are reporting to that, Department of Telecom is basically utilizing this information. We are analyzing this information, and we are basically taking preventive action against such fraudsters, so that they cannot trouble, or they cannot irritate, or they cannot dupe another citizens of our country. So we can safeguard our fellow citizens. So the first service is regarding reporting of suspected fraud communication. So many of you can relate with the screenshot that are available at the screens, that we are getting different kind of message in which you are getting some links, you are getting some information like, dear SBI user, your mobile, your account will be blocked. So you have to do a self KYC, or you have to do re KYC, and you have to click on that link. Once you will click on that link, you will be finding a phishing kind of website in the name of the agency, like here SBI has been used. So you'll be having a website in which SBI website has been fished out, and they are utilizing the same kind of website they have designed, and that is not a authorized website, and they will capture your details, and then they will try to dupe you. So in the last screenshot, you can see that somebody will contact you, and they'll say that we have by mistake send you some money, and since I have sent you money, so you also please send me back this money through UPI or such kind of channels. After that, we can also see that through the social media platform, the WhatsApp, that is basically used by many of the Indians nowadays. We are getting some kind of calls from +92 numbers. They are basically the WhatsApp account that has been created in our in the Pakistan country, and they try to fear the citizens that your son or your daughter, your brother has been arrested by police, and they have been charged in some illegal case. So if you want to get rid of that, you have to pay some money. So such kind of reports have been received by us. Then we are having the KYC fraud, like your mobile number of MTNL or BSNL or any kind of operator have been the KYC has been failed, or it has been expired. So you have to re-KYC, and you have to click some link, or you have to give some money. After that, there are also a very high amount of sextortion calls are being used. So citizens are basically receiving video calls, and after that, after recording this video calls, they are basically blackmailing this citizens. So such kind of things are available on the WhatsApp, and that has been prevailed over the days. After that, there are also the voice calls available. So they are basically calling you and saying that we are from the police, or we are from any government department, and we have found the courier in your name, which have found the drugs or the narcotics in that, and it has been stuck at the international borders or something like that. And also the calls from Department of Telecommunication or try that KYC of your mobile number will be brought, or your mobile number had been found illegally utilized by many of the customers. So you have to come to the police station or something kind of thing. And after that, they'll put you into the digital arrest kind of thing, and they'll loot you money through the different kind of modus operandi like internet banking or UPI or something like that. So when Department of Telecom have observed such kind of things, so we have tried to understand that if citizens, our vigilant citizens, can report such kind of communication, the suspected fraud communication to us, then we can take preventive action, and we can safeguard our fellow citizens from that. So at the Chakshu facility of Sanchar Sathi portal, you can easily see that we have written that what kind of suspected fraud communication you can report, in which kind of category you can report. And there's one more note, the important note has been given. If you have already lost the money or you have already found the victim of the cybercrime, then you can report that to www.cybercrime.gov.in, because after that the investigation by the police agency, the investigation agencies are required, and that can be done by this cybercrime.gov.in only. So if you if you have received any suspected fraud communication, then you can just go ahead with the Chakshu facility. You can report to the medium like call, WhatsApp, or the SMS. After that, you can choose the category. So there are different categories like KYC expire, the online lottery, or the impersonation as government officials. You can utilize that. After that, you have to put the mobile number from which you have received the call. After that, you have to provide the date and time of the call, and after that, you have to put the details of the communication. Then you have to provide just basic detail about you, like your name, and after that you have to provide the mobile number on which such suspected fraud communication has been received, and you have to verify yourself through the OTP and a captcha, so that we are trying to that the DOS attack or the bots are not basically taking down our systems. And after the verification, you can submit the report. So whatever reports will be submitted by the citizens, we'll be analyzing them and will be taking action against such fraudsters to prevent the misuse of telecom resources. So now again, the second facility in which citizens can collaborate with us and they can report us, so that we can bust the illegal telecom setups. So what is basically illegal telecom setup? In the layman term, if you try to understand, then so I don't know how many of you have come across such news that DoT, Department of Telecom, along with the law enforcement agency, the state police of different state, have busted the illegal telecom setups that has been used. The number of 30, 40, 65 illegal telecom setups have been busted by Department of Telecom over the year, or such kind of news in which they are basically having the photographs in which you can find out that there are devices that are they are being placed, and there are some person have been caught. So what is basically this illegal telecom setup? We'll understand in the subsequent slides. So let's say there's a genuine call. So if I'm an Indian and I'm receiving a call from any of my friend or my relative, or let's say anybody who's a citizen of, let's say, USA. So there's basically a nomenclature of our mobile numbers. So when we are calling, we are getting 10-digit mobile numbers along with the prefix of the country code. So as we all know that our country code is +91. So whenever we are receiving any call from our fellow citizens from India, we are receiving a call with +91, and after that 10-digit mobile number. In a such way, if we are receiving a call, let's say from USA, we'll be receiving that with the country code that is +1, and after that the mobile number of that subscriber. But if we are having a call flow that is having a illegal telecom setup in the midway, then that illegal telecom setup will change the mobile number that has been that will be visible to the Indian citizen. So in that case, that the USA mobile number will be changed to an Indian mobile number. So a citizen will receive that call, and he'll in the feeling that Indian citizen only or Indian mobile number is calling me, but actually that has been originated from any of the foreign country. So basically there is a box that is illegal telecom setup that have been utilized in the midway to do this all jugglery. And why we are having problem, or the causes of concern for that, because there can be cases in which anti-India or the national security issues can be exploited, in which any of the subscriber are basically utilizing this illegal telecom setups, and they are concealing their identities, so that the investigation agencies cannot trap them. And this is basically also that international call charges and the local call charges for the operators. So the revenues they are earning from the illegal international calls and the national calls, they are different. So with this, we are also losing the revenue that to the government of India and to our telecom service providers. So how you can report that? So basically, Department of Telecom used to have a facility of IVRS. So you can dial a short code 1963 or 1800110420 prior to Sanchar Sathi portal. But now we are also having a facility at Sanchar Sathi portal, so you can report such calls. that you have received an international call, but an Indian number has been utilized in that. So you have to provide the mobile number again from which you have received the call, the number that has been displayed, the date and time of the call. If you know the country of the origin, let's say your friend or your relative is calling from, let's say Canada, and so you can choose that. And the remarks after that, you have to verify yourself with the OTP and you have to submit the call. Again, with this information, the Department of Telecom will verify the other resources or do the analysis and try to get hold of such illegal telecom setups in the collaboration with the state police or the law enforcement agencies and try to bust those things. So apart from that, we are also issuing a few of the advisories to our citizens regarding such kind of trends that we are understanding regarding the misuse of telecom resources, who are basically targeted for the cybercrime or the financial frauds. So you can just go to the important document section that is at the bottom of the portal, and you can see that in the important documents we are having different kind of press releases. We are having different kind of advisories that Department of Telecom is basically issuing to the citizens. They are also coming to news channels, news media houses, social media platforms of DoT. So these are basically few that we have done in the recent time, like advisory to alert from the fake calls. Don't take any calls threatening to disconnect your mobile numbers on behalf of DoT, or try and report such communication at sancharsati.gov.in. We have also advised our citizens to regarding the malicious calls from international numbers aimed at creating panic that the stock exchange of India will be broken out and something kind of things. After that, the recent we have done regarding the +92 WhatsApp accounts. So as I mentioned that the from Pakistan WhatsApp account, we are receiving the calls regarding the digital arrest or the arrest of our kins and kins. After that, we are also at issuing advisory that you can report such communications at the Chakshu facility of Sanchar Sati portal. So Department of Telecom can take the action against such subscribers. So at the end, I just want to highlight this important thing that SIM is not just another entity that we are taking from the market, but basically we are having some do's and don'ts with that. So as the Sanchar Mitra, you can just proliferate that. You can aware the fellow citizens that we can check the mobile connection in my name at Sanchar Sati and report any discrepancies. If we talk about the don'ts, that any 10-digit mobile numbers cannot be used for the commercial communication that many of us are receiving, that the insurance companies or the banks or credit card companies are basically calling us with a 10-digit mobile number. There's a separate numbering series 140 for that kind of purpose. There's also one thing that we need to proliferate to our fellow citizens, that the SIM is in my name. So you in the grade or any kind of financial incentive, I should not give it to anybody else so that they can misuse that SIM, and the onus of any kind of misuse will be taken in my name. So in the last slide, I'll just highlight the expectation that we are having from the Sanchar Mitras. So we want to create the awareness about Sanchar Sati portal and its services so that more and more citizens can utilize that. You have to check the advisories that we are providing in the important document and also convey to your nearby people through your social media handles or through your any of the channels that you are utilizing at the ground. You can take the feedback from the fellow citizens when you are talking from them and also provide this for the improvement of the Sanchar Sati portal. And as Sanchar Mitras, you are also free, so you can give the suggestion so that we can improve our services, or we can add any new telecoms, any new service on the Sanchar Sati, and that can be helpful for the citizens. Thank you so much. So queries we'll take now, or sir, we'll take it. Okay, thank you so much. I'll take on.
Thank you, Pranay, for this insightful session. And I hope that all the volunteers that we have today are abreast of important initiatives with respect to the Surakshit part of DoT's initiative, the Sanchar Sati Chakshu platform. And as rightly mentioned in the last, it is important to note that the advisories are being checked at our DoT social media handles or through PIB press releases that we share. So that advisories are checked and be shared in your own respective groups, be it in your family or otherwise in the colleges that you are. So whatever sphere of influence that you guys have, I would personally request to share all those advisories and make citizens and your family aware of the various initiatives that DoT has taken with respect to mobile user security. In the next context, which is an important issue to deal with, as people are, get very afraid of the radiations and there are really misconceptions of the radiations from the tar. So it is important to understand and burst those myths among various society, because I personally have experienced in my own society that people don't let allow the towers to be installed in their own specific places just because they're afraid of the radiations. So it is important to burst those myths and understand how you could actually check those radiations from the tower. So in this context, I'd like to invite our next speaker, Shri Robin Kumar Lakhanpal, who is Director DGT. Sir, have you joined? Robin sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, Robin is here in the participant list. I can see. Let me connect with him.
Hello, am I audible, Nishan?
Yes, Robin, you're audible.
Yes, Vidit, I have joined. I'm sharing my screen, so please confirm when it is visible to all of you.
All other people are, apart from Robin sir, all other people are requested to please keep the mics on mute. And if you have any queries, you can also write in the chat as well in the meantime. Your screen is visible, sir. आप एक बार आगे पीछे कर लीजिए थोड़ा स्क्रीन को, आई मीन स्लाइड्स को. हाँ, it's moving, sir.
It's moving, na?
You can take over, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Vidit, and thank you, Vishal. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Robin Kumar Lakhanpal, and I am looking after the works related to licensing, compliance, and rule in DGT headquarters. So today we will discuss about this, the Tarak Sanchar portal. So Tarak Sanchar portal was launched in 2017 with an aim to disseminate information to the public regarding the EMF signals, what are the EMF exposures of DoT, what are the limits that have been set by DoT, and what are the compliances which has to be submitted by TSPs before commissioning of a site, and the role of DoT in monitoring of these compliances while checking or while conducting the self-certification audit or field inspection of the towers. So Tarang Sanchar portal is developed in BBB mode, public-private partnership mode, and it is having stakeholders from DoT, COAI, Seller Operator Association of India, and COAI represents our three major operators, Bharti Airtel Limited, BSNL, MTNL, and we are also having representative from Rambol, and Rambol is Vineet, can you mute? Vineet, thank you. Tarang Sanchar portal is managed by TASCOM. TASCOM stands for Tarang Sanchar Steering Committee, and it is having representatives from Department of Telecommunications, this LSF field units, Telecom Engineering Centers, COAI, MTNL, BSNL, and Rambol. Rambol is the implementing and monitoring agency of this Tarang Sanchar portal. Tarang Sanchar portal is integrated with NEP in the backend. NEP stands for National EMF Portal. So National EMF Portal is having three windows basically. One is the TSP window, second one is the DoT field unit, which we call as LSA window, and third one is the public window. And public window we have named as this Tarang Sanchar portal. So we will go this one by one. The TSP window will facilitate all telecom service provider to submit the self-certifications of all the towers or all the BTSs before commissioning to the portal, and after submission of self-certification in the portal by TSPs to TSPs window, it will go to the LSA window of the Tarang Sanchar portal or NEP portal. LSAs will log in into that portal and they can see and download the self-certification of each and every BTS and audit their certificate to check the EMF compliances, which has been whether the compliances has been as per our test procedure or not. And in addition to this, field inspection or physical testing of BTSs, which has been done by DoT while doing the field visit, is also being uploaded in the portal by LSA field units. And third one is this Tarang Sanchar portal. Tarang Sanchar portal is the public window of this NEP portal, which we call it here. So the Tarang Sanchar portal has the technical detail and EMF compliance status of 9 lakh sites and 30 lakh BTSs. So we are at present we are having almost 9 lakh towers in our country, and these 9 lakh towers are having 30 lakh BTSs. BTSs includes 2G, 3G, 4G as well as 5G. So at present we are having around 4.5 lakhs 5G BTSs in our country. So these are the DoT limits of EMF radiation for frequencies from 400 megahertz to 2 gigahertz. We are having power density by 2000, electric field strength 0.434, and frequency raised to the power 1 by 2, and the magnetic field strength 0.0011, and the frequency raised to the power 1 by 2. And for frequencies greater than from 2 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz, electric field strength is 19.29 volt per meter. Magnetic field strength is 0.05 ampere per meter, and power density is 1 watt per meter square. So, what are the main citizen-centric services available in the Tarang Sanchar portal? The first one is the locate mobile tower. So, this feature enables the user to locate the mobile tower in the vicinity or in nearby vicinity of its location. To locate mobile tower, two options are available in the Tarang Sanchar portal. One is the search-based option. You can type an address, and after selecting the address, the next page will come, and after the authentication you will go to the further web page where you can see the tower located in the map form. And other one is the my current location, which will use the GPS location of your device and will show you the towers which are located near your vicinity. And second one is the you can check the compliance status of these towers which you have located using the locate mobile tower. And for this the additional information option available in the tower is will be used, and the compliance status of tower will be sent by mail to you, which you have used during registration. And third one is the request-based measurement. So this facility has been given to the public. Generally, what happens, we are having fear that these mobile towers are causing harm to us. They are radiating with more powers which has been prescribed by DoT. So in case you are having these kind of myths or these kind of doubts in your mind, so you can use this option. You can pay the nominal amount of rupees 4,000 and use this option as request-based measurement. Then DoT persons will come to you. They will do testing at the prescribed location, and after testing, they will submit or upload the report in the portal. Whether the sites which have been tested or which have been requested for testing by persons are EMF compliant or not. So in case it is compliant, then everything will be okay. And in case it is non-compliant, then penalty as per DoT instruction or DoT provisions will be imposed on the concerned TSPs, and the site will be bring within the DoT limit. And this portal also provides the information about the measurements which has been done by DoT field unit from 2014-15 till current financial year. In addition to this, the request-based measurements done by DoT field units is also available in the portal. And we are also having some learning sources in the portal, which includes the EMF update option, EMF overview, and DoT initiatives. And in addition to this, one study paper on EMF is also available in the portal. And this study paper is having comparative study of more than 30 countries across the world. And it is very beautiful paper. You can use this paper to educate your neighbors, to educate yourself, so that myths related to harm of EMF radiation or ill effects of EMF radiation can be minimized or neutralized. So now we will go in these options one by one. So this is the home page of the Tarang Sanchar portal. So here we can see to locate mobile tower using search-based location. Like here we can see the locate telecom site in your area. If we type a location here, then this home page will come. And after this, when you select the address, The next page will come where you have to verify yourself so that you can view the tower details with EMS safety status. Here you have to enter your name, your email ID, your mobile number, and after captcha verification, you have to click on the send me a email with OTP option. After this, the OTP verification page will come, and you have to enter the OTP which you have received in your mail ID, which you have given during the verification process. And after validation, this screen will appear in your browser or in your mobile device. So here we can see we are having two colors here, green and blue. The green color shows the ground-based towers, which we call as GPT site, and blue shows here as a RTP, RTT or RTP site, rooftop tower or rooftop poles. And third category also is available as a pink color where that shows as a wall mount set. So this location I have taken in the Jalandhar, which is near to my current location because I am at present in Jalandhar. So here, after clicking on the tower, you will get this pop-up here. This shows that this site is EMF compliant, and in addition to this, you can also see the operators or current operators which is available on this tower. So here we can see we are having Airtel 2G 4G, Vodafone Idea 2G 4G, and Reliance Jio 4G. And the address of the site is also available. So if we want to have some additional information about the EMF compliances of this particular tower, then we have to click on this additional information link, and the entire detailed information will be mailed to your registered mail. And the second option to locate mobile tower is the My Location option. When you click on this mobile location, so the tower within the near in the vicinity of your current location will be shown as visible in this page. So here the red icon here shows my current location, and all the towers which is near to my current location are visible here. So this similar process, if we want to have the, if we click on particular tower, then this pop-up will come, and this shows the EMF compliance status and the current tenants of this particular tower. And whenever we click on this additional information, so this mail you will get in your registered mail ID. So here you are having the site details, complete address is visible here. You are having the list of operators, name of operators, and frequency bands in which they are operating. Then in addition to this, you are having this EMF exposure status also, where you can see first option is the compliant to EMF exposure norms. Here we can see it is yes. Then latest basis of compliance is DoT tested, because this site has been tested by Department of Telecommunication in 24. Those latest compliance status is DoT tested available, and you can also see the tested on date is also available here. The 7th February 24 it has been tested by our field unit. Then latest measured EMF value for the site is 0.03433 watt per meter square, whereas the prescribed DoT limit is 0.43825 watt per meter square. And the latest measurement EMF level percentage is 7.83% of the DoT norm. So we can see here the current EMF exposure level of this particular tower is very less than the DoT prescribed limit. The second option is the EMF request by the public. So whenever we make the request-based measurements in the portal, so we have to go to the EMF request by public option. So here we have to enter our name and email ID and mobile number. So here we can see it's giving the information that you are requesting for a physical on-site EMF exposure measurement. For this, you need to pay an amount of rupees 4,000. In case you are interested in availing this facility, kindly proceed further. So after clicking on the next button, this the next window will come where your location details will, where you want to conduct the testing, will be entered in this place. So I have entered my location here. So after you select this state here, like I have selected the Punjab, you will get the address of your DoT field unit, LSA, or concerned office of DoT, which will conduct the EMF testing physically in your location. So here address is available, office of DDT term cell Punjab, first floor Mohali. And after entering this detail, the payment option will be here. So here my name, email ID, mobile number and address will be automatically fetched from the previous data I have entered, and one RRN will be generated. RRN stand for requester registration number, and this is the unique registration number for each request you are making in this portal. So after getting this RRN, you will click on the proceed for further for online payment, and this pop-up, this Bharat Coach, this will redirect to you into the Bharat Coach portal, and you will get this information like payment mode is online by default, and here this is all the details are automatically fetched from the previous information which you have filled while accessing this request. And after confirmation, you will redirect to this further payment gateway option where you can make the payment using credit card, debit card, or net banking also. And after making the payment, the request will go to the concerned field unit. The concerned field unit will verify the payment status, that whether the payment has been made or not. After verification of the payment, the concerned field unit will contact the requester, and after coordination with requester, they will select a date for the testing. And after selecting the dates, the field unit persons will visit the site and do the testing in presence of requester. And after conducting the testing, the compliance status will be uploaded in the NEP portal, and that information will be available in the Tarang Sanchar portal, and user will get to see whether the site which has been tested with the site which he has requested for testing is EMF compliant or not. And if it is EMF compliant, then no issue will be there. And if it is not EMF compliant, or if it is radiating with more power than the DoT norms, then the penalty as per DoT latest instruction will be imposed on the concerned TSP. So our present penalty is 20 lakhs per BTS per incidence. So next option is whenever we go to the portal, there is EMF update option. In EMF update option, we are having two information: EMF audits for mobile towers by DoT LSA field units. And whenever you are clicking on that option, you can check the state-wise or LSA-wise information of the sites which has been tested by them during the financial year. Like here, I have selected the Delhi LSA unit, and I have selected 23-24 option here. So here we can see the DoT Delhi LSA unit has done 3498 audits since 2014, because this portal is having information from 2014 for earlier data for earlier tested sites. The information is not available in this portal, and total sites audited in the year 2024 are 550. So here we are having a site address, date of measurement, measured value by DoT field unit, DoT prescribed limit, and if measured value is less than the DoT prescribed limit, then the site is compliance. If it is not less than DoT prescribed limit, then the site will be marked as non-compliant, and action by DoT field units will be uploaded in the portal, and subsequently it will be displayed in the respective columns here. And if we use the other option like EMF audits on public request, so here we can see the information. Like I've selected Himachal Pradesh, and in 2021 they are having one public measurement request, and that is displayed here. The DoT prescribed limit is 0.41200, and the measure value is 0.09224, and address is available there at Shimla. In Shimla, the testing has been done, and the date of measurement is 24 September 2020. And now we will see the learning sources which are available in the Tarang Sanchar portal. So here we having the information about what is EMF. The basic definition of EMF is given here, and WHO and EMF. What WHO is doing, like they have conducted study of over and above 30,000 papers, and after conducting these studies, they have given the recommendations like this will be the exposure limits which a human body can tolerate. And on the basis of recommendation of WHO, IC and IRP have given the RF exposures value. So at present, in India, we are using the exposure limits of 1/10 of the exposure levels, which has been prescribed by IC and IRP. IC and IRP stands for International Commission of Non-Isotropic Radiation Protection. Then we are having information about the radio, different sources of radio communication in our your community or in your society. WHO EMF booklet is also available here. Then different kind of mobile networks available at present that has been explained. Base station and health, mobile phones and health, EMF research summary. Then basic information about ICNIRP and ITU. In this DoT initiative option, we are having journey for EMF and EMF norms which has been prescribed by DoT, which I have shown in the second slide of my PPT. Then SAR limits of different mobile handsets. The SAR stands for specific absorption rate. So it is the EMF exposure limit of the mobile handsets which we are using at present. Then what are different FAQs related to this EMF compliances and EMF exposure limits. Current Sanchar launch video and launch date, and the study paper that I have mentioned in my PPT. So this study paper you can go through. It is having this comprehensive details of all the EMF related compliances in which has been followed across more than 30 countries around the world. So it will give you the brief idea like where we are standing, because it more than 90% of other countries they are using that ICNIRP radiation limit. So in our country we are using that 1/10 of this ICNIRP norms. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
I think so. This will actually help Sanchar Mitra, our students, to go out in the society and actually tell them about the truths of radiation. And not only that, also tell about what is happening around the world and where India stands in terms of having strict measures to ensure that the radiations are done within the limit. Thank you once again, sir. Next in the line, we have Shri Onkar Nath Yadav, who is also part of the media division and also part of the Sanchar Mitra program, designing of the Sanchar Mitra program. And he has quite an expertise with the ham radio. He himself is one of the ham amateur radio himself, owner of that. And to discuss more on what ham radio is, how can you become an ham, and sorts of various, and how ham actually helps in disaster per se. So we'll actually delve on those aspects. So Omkar Nath Yadav sir is with us. So I'll hand over the mic to him.
Thank you, Vinay ji. Good afternoon, everyone. Amateur radio is also known as ham radio. It is one type of hobby that needs license, that needs authorization from Department of Telecommunication, Ministry of Communication. In this slide, I have captured some of the important personalities who is having the connection with the amateur field. Victor Uniform 2, Romeo Golf is our ex-Prime Minister. Scientist Yuri Gagarin, Uniform Alpha 1, Lima Oscar, and Sultan of Oman having his call sign Alpha 41 Alpha Alpha. Next slide, please. Thank you. Amateur radio is a popular hobby and a service that requires authorization or license from WPCB, DoT, and it involves some use of radio frequency spectrum in the amateur band for non-commercial activities. Amateur radio is also known as ham radio. The name comes from the 3 members of Harvard Radio Club. They have established their first amateur radio station. They were Hyman, Almai, and Moody. From there, from the first amateur wireless station call sign, this names comes. Amateur radio operators also can communicate with the designated frequency and call sign. Call sign is their name in the field of amateur radio. So they can engage in diverse activities like contest, like emergency communication support during disaster, experimentation, design of antenna, radio equipments, and so on and so forth. Next slide, please. So why ham? So ham can be for fun, ham can be for hobby, and ham can be for disaster communication support. If you are a ham holder, then you are authorized to communicate across the globe to others ham, or you can communicate with the international space stations, you can communicate with the astronauts, you can make friends across the globe, you can communicate to Bangladesh, Nepal, you can communicate to Russia, USA, and you can have friends. If you are a engineer and you want to continue your engineering hobby, you can develop your own antenna, you can develop your own radio equipment, you can test it, you can test the antenna radiation pattern. So you can continue your engineering hobby as a ham. During the disaster, when all form of communication fails due to the power cut, due to the shutdown of the distribution power stations, due to the damage of the power lines and poles, so amateurs can establish their equipment within no time. So to establishing their own communication network, they need one radio equipment like this. This is one of the radio equipment which is being used by the amateurs. So, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Next करो. Screen दिख रही होगी.
बर्बाद है काल लूट जाते हैं क्या नहीं सुनो ये सारा
But ये वो touch कर रहा है कुछ screen पे. कुछ
अच्छा वो टम्बरेल जो हो रहा है ना सर आप सारा
You need it visible. It's working fine here. It's on the what is required for him on this slide.
हमें चल रहा है. ये उस आप बोलिए सर.
Sorry, due to some internet issue and technical issue, I was not completed the demonstration of this equipment. Actually, this is a radio set. This is also called the dual band transceiver. This can operate in the VHF and UHF band. So to establish a station, this walkie-talkie is required, which is costing 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. And one antenna is required, outdoor antenna to enhance the coverage. And one battery bank is required to charge this set. And sometimes amateur holders, they use solar panels to provide the services around the clock. So there are some formats which is being used while communicating through amateur radio bands. So for example, if I am operating this one, so CQ, this is Victor Uniform 3, Oscar, calling from Sanchar 1, 20 Asoka Road, New Delhi, India. Any station on air, please respond. CQ. This is Victor Uniform 3, Oscar, calling from Sanchar 1, India. Any station on air, please respond. So this is the format how we communicate. Next slide, please.
Yes.
No. Previous one. Yes.
5 days. 5 days.
So what is required to become a ham radio operator? So Department of Telecommunication conduct one examination for amateur radio. So you have to apply through Saral Sanchar portal to pass the examination. After passing this examination, you can apply for the license. Due to the simplification of the Saral Sanchar portal, now after passing the examination, you immediately can pay an amount of 1,000 rupees if you are interested to have the validity of your license for 20 years. And if you are paying 2,000 rupees, you will get the license up to the age of 80 years.
Vineet, your voice
So-
is not coming from there. Let me call you. Wait.
Also, एक बारी mic का check कर रही है.
माइक की आवाज उस माइक में आवाज नहीं आ रही
आ रही है? क्या?
कुछ चल रहा है अब चल रहा है ना माइक में
वापस एक बारी आप उसको वापस सेट करो पिक्चर. आ गया.
Am I audible? Vishal sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
voice is coming now. Perfect.
Okay, thank you, sir. So for becoming a ham radio operator, you have to first appear in an examination. After passing that examination, you have to apply for the license. After getting license, you can practice your hobby. So there are two options. Either you can design your equipment by your own, or there are circuits are available. There are so many ham radio clubs. They provide the circuits, they provide the technology, they provide mentorship to develop the equipment. Otherwise, you can purchase the equipment from the DPL holders that are being licensed to sell the wireless equipment. Next slide, please. This is the in this slide I am trying to capture the importance of the self-designing, importance of the Atmanirbhar, how the equipments can be designed, and during the India independence movement, how they contributed in the India's freedom movement. This is the Congress radio, which was an underground radio station, was being operated somewhere in Mumbai for 3 months, and British was unable to identify their locations during the Quit India movement in 1942. And another is Azad Hind Radio, which was started by the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in 1942 to encourage the Indians to fight against the British. So why this home brewing or self-designing or Atmanirbhar in the field of amateur is required? So if you are having your own technology, you are having your own expertise in designing the equipments, designing the antenna. So in any case, if you are not having the access to the import of these equipments, you can develop your own. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now this is FAQs for the HAM examination and license. So first question is, who can become a HAM? Any citizen of India who is above 12 years age, he can become a HAM operator. If he is between 12 to 18 years of age, he has to take one undertaking from his parents that he has no objection if you are pursuing this hobby. So in case of 12 to 18 years of age, the candidate has to produce one undertaking, which is showing that their parents is having no objection in pursuing this hobby. So next question is what are the various categories and fee of the examination? There are two categories of licenses. One is restricted grade and another is general grade. And examination fee for both the grade is 100 rupees. If you are interested to apply for the both at a time, then you have to pay 200 rupees. What are the difference between this restricted grade and the general grade? Restricted grade operators can operate within some restrictions of the power, some restrictions of the emissions, and they can't transmit Morse code. And general grade license holders can use more power, and they have privilege to transmit various emissions, and they can transmit through Morse code also. So next question is what are the examination centers? There are 27 wireless monitoring stations and international monitoring stations. All are the exam centers. I have hyperlinked these centers here along with their contact numbers. So from north to south, from east to west, everywhere the examination center is there. And Saral Sanchar portal is end-to-end online. You have to apply through Saral Sanchar portal. From there, you can download your admit card and you can select your examination center very near to you. And physically, you have to appear in the examination. After passing that exam, your result will be declared through Saral Sanchar portal and you have to apply through Saral Sanchar portal for the license. Nowadays, the entire process is being completed within 1 month. So from scrutiny of your application to the grant of license, that will take 1 month. So next question is, what is the examination pattern and duration of the examination? So the examination consists of two parts. Part A is basic electronics and part B is radio regulation. In restricted grade, there are the duration of the examination is 1 hour and total 25 questions in each part. Similarly, in the general grade, the examination consists of 50 questions in each part and the duration of examination will be 2 hours. In general grade, you have to also pass the Morse code test for sending as well as reception of the Morse 8 words per minute. Next slide, please. So next question is, how many marks are needed to pass this examination? For the restricted grade, you have to score 40% in each section and aggregate 50%. Whereas in general grade, you have to score 50% in each sections and aggregate 60% to pass. So next question is, can I apply for both general and restricted? As I already mentioned that you can pay 200 rupees and you can apply for the both. If you are clearing the examination part 1 and part 2, then you will be granted the general grade license. Otherwise, if you are clearing only part 1, you will get the restricted grade license. Next question is, are there any exemptions from the examinations? Yes, there are exemptions. Those who are BTech, B degree holders in electronics or telecommunication, BSc, MSc degree holders in electronics or telecommunication, diploma in engineering in electronics or telecommunication, they are exempted to appear in the part A of examination. So they have to directly appear in part B, that is radio regulation. So those who are having these degree, they are having exemption in the electronics part. So next question is, how do I check the status of application? So that is, I already told, that is end-to-end online process is through Saral Sanchar portal. So you can apply through Saral Sanchar portal. You can get the QR code based digitally signed certificate from Saral Sanchar portal. So what documents do I need to carry during the examinations? For that, you have to carry one photo ID and you have to carry the proof of date of birth and one undertaking if you are between 12 to 18 years of age. And if you are taking the exemption of appearing in part A, so you have to carry your degree also. that is in either in electronics or in telecommunication. Next slide, please. So after clearing that examinations, you can apply for the license. So you have the choice of three call sign in the Saral Sanchar portal. From there you can select like as my call sign is Victor Uniform 3 Oscar Oscar Oscar. So like that you can apply. Out of that, which one, out of which, if anyone is already practicing that call sign, then that may not be assigned to you. So based on the availability, that call sign will be assigned to you. And if you are interested to take this license for the 20 years from the date of issue, then you have to pay 1,000 rupees for both general and restricted grade. If you are paying 2,000, then you will get the license up to the age of 80 years for both general and restricted grade. After 80 years, if you are interested to renew your license, then you have to pay nothing. Just you have to send one request to WPC DoT through Saral Sanchar portal, and at a time that license will be renewed for the 10 years. Next slide, please. In this slide, I have captured the distribution of the amateurs country-wise. So around the world, approximately 21 to 20 lakhs hams are there, and US is at the highest 36%, and Japan second highest 18%, and China, and then India is about 15 to 16,000 hams are in India. So next slide, please. Here are some more points about the ham radio hobby. So if you, Vinay, if I am having time, then I can go through this. Otherwise, that I have already. Okay. Okay. This I have already told that if you are a ham, you can communicate nationally, locally, internationally, and you can communicate via voice, via modes, via digital modes. Even you can communicate with the astronauts, you can communicate with the international space stations. For that, license is required. In any country, if you want to become a ham, you have to clear something examination from that is regulated by the radio regulatory authority of that particular country. And on the reciprocal basis, India is also granting the amateur licenses to the foreigners if they are having amateur license in their country. So what are the diverse activities? You can participate in the emergency communication support, you can contest, you can participate in antenna designing, you can do the satellite communication. Next slide, please. And for community and networks, there are diverse communities and clubs of the ham radio operators around the globe. So they provide support, knowledge sharing, they provide the circuits, they provide the technology, they provide mentorship for the newcomers. So if you are new, you can contact the nearest ham radio operator or the wireless monitoring stations. They will provide the details of the ham radio clubs in their area. From there, you can learn this antenna design, equipment design, and communication skill, how to communicate through amateur, and what are the abbreviations we are using, like A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, E for Echo, F for Foxtrot, like that. This is the abbreviation which is being used by the ham community. So technical learning, if you are interested in electronics, radio wave propagation, antenna design, antenna testing, radio technologies, then you can join the ham community and you can enhance your technical knowledge. So many of the radio operators can design their own equipments. They modify their equipment, that is called homebrew, means home built non-commercial radio equipments. They can participate in, they can help the people who are in disaster during the disaster, natural disasters, during the natural calamities. So you can be in touch with the state disaster management authorities and they will contact you. If any disaster is there, you can provide the communication support to the state disaster management authorities and state authorities. Next slide, please. Advancement and innovations. If IM radio operators often push the boundaries of technology, experimenting with the new modes of communications, antenna design, and equipment modifications. So, as already I have covered that if you are interested in innovations, you can design your own equipments, you can do your patents, you can make it commercial equipment. So next is international regulations. All the amateur radio operators have to follow some international regulations to ensure the proper and lawful use of the radio spectrum. Community engagement, conducting awareness sessions in local school, village, emphasize the importance of the effective communication during disaster, empowering communities with the knowledge to the better respond during the emergency. So next slide, please. Thank you. So expectation from the Saral Sanchar Mitra is that to create awareness among your friends who are already BTech and create the awareness in the school and colleges so that the number of amateurs in India can be increased. So thank you from my side. 732
एक second. Thank you so much, sir, for again an insightful session on ham. Actually, ham serves two purposes. It also helps you to get your inner technical knowledge enhanced and focus on how you can actually make a radio yourself to be operating it somewhere else as a part of your hobby, and at the same point in time also use it for emergency communication and disaster. So the expectation from Sanchar Mitra, as rightly said, not only utilize it as an hobby, and also once you're in your own towns or villages where you feel that and ham radio can actually play an important part during the disaster, you can also reach out directly to Omkar sir, or basically to the field office, who will directly get in touch on how to get it operationalized in your particular area. So be regularly in touch with field offices with respect to ham also if you want to. So next in line, we have Jitinder Bhoi, who has joined us. He's EDG SRI, and SRI is the actual brainchild of the program wherein the universities were granted 100 5G use case lab at the first place. Jitendra Bhoi has been actively involved not only in 5G, he has quite a good contribution in Bharat 6G vision, quantum communications, and in fact even intellectual property rights as well. And with this vast and diverse experience and being from SRI division, Ram Santosh, could you please disable your mic? Yeah. So with this diverse experience and being from SRI division, which takes a lot of R&D activities as well, I bring forward Jitendra Bhoi, ADG SRI, to all you guys. And I know we are about to head towards the lunch session, but trust me, this will be a very interesting session, and it also ignite your inquisitiveness and about what next gen communication actually is. Over to you, Jitendra.
Very good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, sir, for actually kind introduction. My presentation is based on the DoT initiative to proliferate the 5G Open RAN and 6G ecosystem. The topic is already set course by our member team, ma'am, where she actually just given a brief that how we are doing and how we are supporting this advanced communication technology. I am just going to elaborate what are the initiatives we have taken to set forward the course of our 5G journey and how we are actually proceeding the 6G course right now. So next slide, please. The 5G journey regarding 5G, everybody know, or also actually mentioned by the other speaker as well. We are the already 150 million base stations already started running, and this course of installation of BTS is the fastest around the world. But this journey is actually having so many background hard works, which was started from 2015, where we have initiated 5G high level forum. This forum has given us actually set the course for what the 5G will look like. And before that, 5G in India, we don't have any particularly technology initiative taken for which we call 1G, 2G, 3G. But in 5G, we have just determined ours first that we want to actually develop our own standard. We want to have our own 5G stack ready. In that thing, this 5G high-level forum, they are given a very good action plan, which have culminated in the two manner. Basically, we have developed a 5G testbed, which has a consortium approach to develop Indian 5G test setup, which we develop with the help of the majorly IITs, which is led by the IIT Madras and CIVIT. The 5G test bed right now is operating, and it was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister, and he himself make a call with the 5G test bed setup, and we are proud to say that this 5G test bed is running properly, and it's able to deliver what the expected outcome that was achieved. And with this base level, we are also just enhancing this 5G test bed for the 6G test bed also. So these are the thing. After the we also have 5GI standard. It means every telecom technology have the standard role to play. If you know that there was a recent EU has given a mandate that every iPhone should actually have the Type-C charger. Before that, they do have their own lightning cable. But after that, if you see that even the iPhone can be charged with the Type-C charger. So it's very, very standard approach. If we are having a particularly standard set in standards, it's going to be not only ease of doing business, but it's also going to proliferate the environmental means sustainability also. It also reduce the e-waste and going to be means we should not actually run forward for means for other standard approach. So it's just a simple example, a lightning cable or the charger cable can actually make a difference. So in telecom technology, everything is depends on the standards. We also attempted one of the 5G I standard, which we call, it's actually joint effort by the whatever the research we actually got in the Indian 5G test bed. It is taken to our International Telecom Union and 3GPP. 3GPP is called Third Generation Partnership Program, where we also got our standard first time in our 5G journey. In India, actually have given 5G standard, which is also part of right now international standard in release 17. So next slide, please. Apart from that, we also, once we have testbed set up, we already set up 5G IE standard. In 2020, we also opened 5G hackathon, in which we also requested call of proposal from the idea. What are the 5G use cases can be developed? How the new technology can be actually utilized using the 5G technology? Because before that, all the other technologies like 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G, they are majorly focused on the user level. Just you are getting a higher speed, you can download the videos, you can actually browse internet. But 5G, when the 5G was designed, it actually tried to give the new idea, not apart from only the higher speed, but it's actually just given a base to what are the other technology, what are the other industry can be utilized this wide area network available by the telecom service provider. So we initiated this 5G hackathon in 2020. We got the very good idea, just taking off the initiatives or the learning. We also called 5G vertical engagement program, in which we also not only get the partnership from the Indian companies, we also requested the MNCs to come together and actually give their solution. Just take all this forward. For a 100 use case lab program, we also just launched the Ericsson Educate program. So we also working other MNCs that how they are actually collaborate with the 100 use case lab. They can actually share their expertise Some other advanced discussion, Qualcomm and Cisco is also going to forward this thing. We are going to communicate with the 100 Users Lab how this partnership can actually given the base or the learning and mentorship program to the student so that they can actually enhance their skills, knowledge, and also get mentorship from them. Taking forward, we also have a 105 use case lab. Nothing to be actually elaborated. This thing, all the thanks to the media division and the NTIPRIT to organizing, and actually they also organized four workshops around the corner and actually sensitize what the 5G use case lab are, what is we are thinking, how they can actually, how can we work together, and we are right now more than 40 labs are already started working. We are actually pushing our vendors that until July we can actually all the 100 labs is going to be functional and get operational. Apart from that, we also going to be working on the calling new proposal of a hackathon in which we are utilizing the setups installed at the 105 use case lab. So it's just just a start. We are want to go beyond not only for 5G. We are going to come and work together for 6G also. Next slide, please. I just want to give you the what are this 5G testbed look like. If you see in the slide, there is so many things, so many ITs come together and so many industries come together. They started working and they just because of their hard work and it's more than 4-year job. They have come together and develop a end-to-end 5G solution. The radio part was developed by the IIT Madras with the Samir help. The servers is also means IoT device and sensor, IIT Hyderabad. Core was developed by IIT Bombay. So it's just a pictorial view that how the consortium actually work together and they have developed 5G testbed. We have the vision that this 100 5G use case lab also going to work together and can develop so many new standards which could be one of the potential standard for 6G. So we have to work together and how this picture is going to be culminated in the 100 5G use case lab program. It is our vision. So we will require your help and support from each student who is looking right now and the professor involved with the 105 use case lab, that how we can actually work together. So this is just a pictorial view what we have achieved with 5G testbed. Another 2 to 3 years or 5 years, we want to have pictorial view that how 100 use case lab can be fit into this picture, and we have our own 6G standards with the help of 100 use case lab. So next slide, please. There's nothing to be shared. The 105G use case lab is actually going on, is commissioning. This is an idea where we have just given more than 20 equipments to all the labs. Apart from the radios, we have given a drones, camera, IoT sensors, which we want to have an idea base that each lab should actually solve their socio-economic problems, which we actually identify by their local interactions, local industry interaction, local state government interaction. So with this, because 5G is vertical specific, we can actually have our own solution in a power sector, in agriculture sector, in a mining sector, in education sector, and many more. So it is our just a breeding ground. How this 5G use case lab, just a starting point, you can actually develop here, we can actually solve the socio-economic problem around you. And how is any problem, please get us back to us. We are actually, yes, whatever the Excellent Educate program, we are going to get mentorship. We are also having a mentorship program for other people also. So this is the wide idea. This is a wide approach that this 5G use case lab not going to be sit only for the lab purpose. It should be actually utilized for the problem solving system, which is going to be help the local environment and state government. So this is our idea. Next slide, please. To talk about the Open RAN, if you just seen the previous slide also, the 5G test bed also actually have a integral part of Open RAN implementation. What is Open RAN? If you talk, before there is a 2 RAN, radio access network. What we see in the tower, we see a BTS. A BTS is the base transmitter unit in which we have segregated that BTS into multiple parts. It is possible just because of Open RAN technology. It was promoted by the third 3GPP interfaces, and And the one more organization is there. They are called ORAN Alliance. They have just taken the base requirement for 3GPP and developed a solution apart from this. Why it is important for us? Because if you see, if you know that majorly the traditional brands, what we have seen, they have the very big MNCs like Nokia, Ericsson, and Huawei, ZT. These are the major players which are working and actually deploying their solution across the world, not only in India. But after this Open RAN, I just going to be touched what are it's Open RAN given chance to Indian industry that they have just developed solution based on the small equipment. Using the advantage of Open RAN, they have actually segregated what the RAN, radio access network, in a multiple piece. They have called this RU, DU, CU. RU called radio unit, DU called distributed unit, and CU called centralized unit. So they have segregated the one box into three boxes. Making one box is more difficult because it's required it's a investment of $1 billion. Each company, which big company making an investment of $1 million, but for Indian startup and the MSME which are working, they don't have that much of investment, so they can actually not able to make the whole system, but they can actually make a small part of the system. So this is the called Open RAN. It is very boom for the small players. Right now, Open RAN technology is not its deployment phase. Only few vendors actually develop whole solution like Rakuten in Japan, Mavenir in USA, but also some other companies like big players also work in Open RAN because Open RAN is the future of the telecom industry. Everything is going to be open. If you see the architecture diagram of the 4G and to 5G, 5G's core is a service-based architecture. This is actually the also key technologies to support the Open RAN. The core side, we have Open RAN, we have actually open APIs, but with the RAN side also, we are actually just promoting the Open RAN. And this is the base technologies which is going to be drive the 6G RAN. So next slide, please. Taking the advantage, we have a very strong ecosystem of Open RAN, ORAN Alliance in India. With the government side, TEC, NTIPRIT, and CDOT is a part of the ORAN Alliance. Our TSP is also part of it. Indian vendors like TCS, BBDN, Sankhya, YC, STL, HFCL also part of this. Academia is also part of it. And apart from that, the companies like Lekha, Tejas, Sukta, and Wicked, they are working very heavily Open RAN because the Open RAN give them a breathing space to fight and develop a solution which are at par with the global MNCs. Next slide, please. Taking this advantage, our Center of Development of Telematics, CDOT, is also working on a Bharat 5G RAN project. If you know in the news that CDOT and TCS consortium had developed a 4G solution and they are at least deployed in the BSNL system. That system is totally indigenously developed by the India. To take forward, they are actually also working on Bharat 5G RAN project, in which what they are doing, they have formed the two consortium, and with the help of Indian industry, they are building the 5G from the scratch. So with the 1 year or 2 year time, we are going to have our 5G system going to ready, and it is going to be deployed in the BSNL very soon. Next slide, please. This is just a pictorial view. What are the things available in India? What are the things which are the indigenously developed? It's very phenomenal to say that Indian industry is working very tiring, and they are developed their own solution. And we proudly can say we are actually having our own 4G stack fully ready, and 5G stack is going to be ready and is going to be deployed soon in the field. Next slide. To support how DoT is actually supporting this initiative, we have our own standard development organization, TSGSI, which is given a part to support and take Indian standards in the global fronts, global bodies like 3GPP and ITU. We have TEC, Telecom Engineering Center, NCCS Bangalore, which is basically working on security standard. We are supporting from the incentive side also with the Telecom Technology Development Fund, design link incentive we are giving. We are having a larger fund of USF, which is going to be given to the industry to just support their R&D work and also the pilot of their thing. We are also promoting manufacturing by using a PLI, which is the giving a market access or the breeding ground for the MNC to come and manufacture in India. If you see just example of just to take the example of Make in India program, just because of PLI of not only for telecom sector, in other sector also, many companies are coming to India and actually manufacturing it. It is not only beneficial for the India, but also it is actually beneficial for the user also. They are getting a cheap the product as compared to imported one. So it is a win-win situation for all the things. We are having a market access. It's preferential to market access. We are promoting and giving a edge to the Indian vendors in every government tenders. Line of credit project also we are working that how this Indian products can be go abroad and can be installed there. Next slide, please. Taking it forward, I suggested that this is a three-line statement. I want to read it from the last. We have developed our own complete 4G and IP multimedia system, which is already deployed and working properly. More than 100 million customers are already on board. Apart from that, as I mentioned, that CDOT is working with the Indian ecosystem to actually develop 5G radio access network. To take it forward, we are not stopping here. We want to go to the beyond 5G. We have launched our 5G means 6G vision document on March 22, and we have a vision that we should actually front runner contribution in design, development, and deployment of 6G technology by 2030. Next slide, please. This is the three pillars of what we actually our 6G vision lies: affordability, sustainability, and ubiquity. This are the key principle how we want to see our 6G. It should be available to everybody. It should be present for each and every place, not only the urban areas, or also the remote area, and should have energy efficient and sustainable goals. Next slide, please. Taking it forward with the efforts of Indian community or Indian SDO, we have a good contribution in the recently released ITU IMT 2030 vision framework. If you see in the slide there, if you see the 5G was triangle, which is the enhanced mobile broadband and ultra reliable latency and the massive machine time communication, which is three capabilities of 5G. It is actually enhanced and going to be vision have a six capabilities. If you see the 6G is going to be have a capability like immersive communication, integrated AI and communication, hyper reliable and low latency communication, massive communication, and integrated sensing communication. Apart from that, with the efforts of India, one more capabilities actually integrated as a key vision of 6G, which is ubiquitous connectivity. Apart from that, we have new capabilities also introduces like coverage, interoperability, and sustainability as a part of 6G vision. Next slide. As I mentioned that we have just set up the 5G test bed, but we also started working on 6G test bed on terahertz test bed. This initiative actually led by the Samir with the IIT Madras, IIT Guwahati, and IIT Patna. This already started working, and the project duration is 36 months. With this thing, we want to have new use cases basically on sub terahertz band. We are targeting around 90 gigahertz frequency band, which is going to be one of the key new band for the 6G vision. Next slide. Furthermore, we also working on the advanced optical communication test bed, which is also a consortium mode, majorly led by IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Delhi, CDOT, and UNNET. This is also 2-year program. The main idea what we want to have a advanced Atmanirbhar in the optical communication modules, working on the majorly which can be scalable from Gbps speed to petabyte speed. So this is a current 2 test bed also already currently working, and we want to scale this thing in the next slide, please. So as I suggested that how we are actually going to collaborate with the 105G use case lab. We have already initiated a call for 6G proposal, in which we have received a tremendous response from all over the India We have received more than 450 proposals, and the assessment is going on. We are very thankful for the academias working, not only the IITs and NIT, but the private institute also being a part, and we received their proposal. The proposals are very promising. We are working at how we are going to fund the more proposals and going to be set the course for 6G. So this is the way. Once this proposal is going to be finalized, we are going to be form a team, which we going to be take a help from Sanchar Mitra also, and we will take your expertise, your experience to actually realize this, the call of proposal of 6G to be set forward and going to be have a place in our standardization and commercial network. Next slide. To take it forward, we have also one Bharat 6G Alliance, which is the industry-led organization. It is particularly set the course that what the India 6G and how is going to drive it from an industry side. As DoT is doing so many things, but we want that industry should be come forward and give their suggestion and set the course. So this is the brief background of Bharat 6G Alliance. They are also forming up. They already formed the working groups. If any people or any participant actually willing to be part of Bharat 6G Alliance, just revert us. We are going to be linked with you. They are actually working on the key technologies in a particularly focused way. So anybody wants, they can reach to us. Next slide. So this is a brief description of the how the DoT is fostering this ecosystem. Any question, any help, please revert to us. And I just over to the Abhineet sir.
So thank you, Jitendra, again for much insight on how DoT is actually trying to foster a good ecosystem, starting from indigenous 4G to 5G to Open RAN and 6G as well. And as far as Sanchar Mitra are considered, not only going out in the community for citizen-centric services, they also have an inner, like most of the people have an inner R&D aptitude as well. So try to ignite that aptitude and take help from the SRI division, DoT, field office, whatever help is required. And we all are here to help. So whatever conversation you want to do, and also I've written down a certain point that Jitendra just mentioned that 40 labs are operational, right? And so it is important that we start exchanging best practices all across. So you can share with your field office, and then field office will actually circulate it. And also different universities all across Sanchar Mitra can also form groups. We let us see that whether an entire end-to-end Sanchar Mitra group can be formed or not. We'll see to it that all 200 250 Sanchar Mitras can be carried out at one place, and they share their best practices, which also not only help as everybody cumulatively grow, and also understand that somebody is doing an X thing and somebody is doing an Y thing, and somebody can do an X union Y. So with this, we come to the end of the session. There is a feedback link that is posted in the chat. Everybody is requested to fill that feedback form. And also there is a column called as suggestions. With respect to the workshop, with respect to the Sanchar Mitra program, with respect to any citizen-centric services, whatever doubt, not only the Sanchar Mitra, even the field offices. So this feedback is for everybody. Let us come together and improve and make this program better. If anybody has any questions, I would request to raise hands, and before we proceed for vote of thanks. Naman, chat में कुछ है questions? Yeah, so anyway, if you have any questions, you are already in touch with the LSA. They can actually clarify there and then. And if any LSA has any doubt, they can also ask us. And if there are no doubts, there is a feedback form. आप उसमें suggestion, questions, whatever you want to write, you can fill in that. So now to end this session, first of all, I would like to call Prem Kumar, who is working as JTO in Media Division and has been very played a pivotal role in drafting all the roles and responsibilities of Sanchar Mitra. So, Prem, are you there? Just a second, there are questions, sir. What will be the role of students and how can we actually contribute in tech domain? If you brief what Sanchar Mitra can. So the entire exercise was